Here I is. Yeah, that's what we're about to talk about today. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about moist and I guess the meaning, especially in today's society. We're going to talk a little bit about moist. Hello there, my man. How you feeling?
Doing good. How you doing?
All right. Oops.
Shimon Pig.
How you feeling? Shimon Peg. So you tried to mess me up now. Trying to get me off my train of thought. Okay, what I was saying. All right. Okay, we're going to be talking about moist, and we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to not only be talking about moist, we're going to be talking about too big to fail. Well, I say they just the right size. We need to stop bailing out these companies that are not really helping us or have our best interests in heart. So hold on. Yeah, so anyway, um I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I get my stream right because lately I've been missing the stream, and right now I can't seem to find my stream. It's not seeming to come up, and I'm having an issue with that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, call me now. Call me now. That's right. Call me now.
Call me now for your free reading.
Hold on, people. I'm sorry. Oh man, these idiot people, man. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to. I guess that was Spectrum, right? That's my TV people. So I called them to talk because I was upset that I'm paying for my box and I'm getting they renting a box, and I had Direct TV before, and we bought our box, right? So when we needed when the box went wrong or something, we paid for the new one. But they're charging like $7 a month for rental fees. So okay, after a year, 2 years, 3 years, how much does that cost? That's way more than that box is worth, right? So why should I keep continuously paying repeatedly over and over for the duration of the time for this box? It's got to be a flat out fee, or kiss my behind. I don't need your services. I got all of my DVDs and Blu-rays of all of my favorite shows, and if people would start collecting their DVDs instead of depending on downloading and watching shit online, I'm telling you, you're giving up all of your rights. You're giving away all of your rights to be, and your power, your consumer power. Because once they have all of the power, watch how the prices go out. And they're already doing it. They're raising the prices on all of the DVDs and the Blu-rays just to make sure that everybody wants to shove all of you last remnants of refusers who do not want to go to streaming, which I will not do. I will not do. Even if all of my discs go bad, then fuck it. But fuck giving all my money to any of these corporations, because it's all a scam. I came up just not that long ago. TV was free. You pay for movies, and then they came out with VHSs, and VHS gave you the freedom to collect your movies, collect your series, collect your shows, whatever you wanted. And I started collecting. And now everybody's just giving it back to the corporations like they love you. They don't give two craps. And that's one of the things that I need to talk about. Why isn't my stream showing up? Hold on. This is not right. Let me see. I'm going to have to pull this up on another. Hold on just 1 second, because if this is not, something's wrong with my stream. Don't tell me that it's showing up on. Oh, there it goes. You see this garbage? Why do they make it so hard to find the right stream? Hold on. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm on the other one, and there's nothing. There's nothing showing. So, okay. I'm going to have to... there is something, but I think what it is, if I press the transition on OBS, it's going to take down the, I think it's going to take down the thing, and you're going to see all of the background stuff. Oh, look. Yeah, there it goes. That's what happened. See, so that's not what I want. I want to be on this one where, okay, let me see if I can do it without totally scrambling my stream. They should make it easier for you to find these things the first time. I figured I locked it in. And the other one that, you know, whichever one that you don't want to be streaming, you don't want to show everybody all of this background stuff, you know? So this is why I don't understand. Why do they have you showing all of this stuff if they should let you know exactly which one is which? They should say this one is the stream that's going to show all of the background stuff, and this one is the one that's going to show, so that I know exactly what I'm looking for.
By the way, good job on that graphic design. Like the moist lettering.
Yeah, man. I just went in there with into Photoshop and put some white on the words. That's it. I made it a slightly bluish tint, and just dribbled it down like that. It just came out good. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm definitely gonna use that. Yeah, so so let me see if I can switch this over. Hold on, give me 1 second to see if I can switch this. Let me see. Just be patient with me, people. I'm trying to pull a Houdini here without. See, it's not showing up on my in my live stream or in my okay, I'm gonna have to go into. It's not showing up in my video, so I'm gonna have to go into manage. Yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. Oh man, will I have to? Hold on, let me copy this. I hope this doesn't take down my stream. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Yeah. It's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me because I'm gonna have to stop the stream. I'm gonna have to stop the stream in order to get back on the other side. I thought I had it right. Oh well. Oh well. That's just what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. There's another stream that says power time streaming, and it's supposed to be hot right now. That's the one that y'all should be looking at and putting all the likes on and all of that stuff. And this one I'm going to wind up shutting down after I finish. Yeah, that's the one that you go to and subscribe to, because man, this is ridiculous. You could watch it here, or yeah, subscribe and do all. I'm not going to shut it down. So, but go over there to subscribe and like and all of that, because it's ridiculous how they mess me up. They absolutely mess me up. If you're seeing me and Hoth side by side, you got the right stream. If you got the one that just says moist, then you got the wrong stream. Go to the other one. Because I got some stuff I want to show you, and I'm going to wind up hiding that other one. So go to the other one. I'm going to be going through all of this moist stuff and the whole too big to fail. And then I'm going to the whole I'm not playing no more. I ain't playing games no more. I'm tired of this stuff. People is messing around with all of these games. That's another thing I'm tired of. These games is they're playing. I'm playing the same games I've been playing 20 years ago. They just basically putting a whole lot of polish on it, but the gameplay is crap. It's garbage. It's the same thing, and they want you to keep playing the same crap over and over and over. Hold on, I gotta turn one of these off. Hold on, somebody's lagging. I got something that's lagging. I'm hearing an echo. Are you hearing the echo, huh?
No, is it me? Let me mute myself.
No, that's me. It's me. I got two windows open so that I can see the No, it's not you. I got another window open so that I can see what's playing. See, it's going now.
Okay.
It's going now. I got another window just so that I can see what's happening on my computer without needing a backup device. So what I did was open another tab for Explorer, and then I put it on a so if I want to go over there, that's where I'm going to go. So then all I have to do is go from, well, it won't help for the ones that don't need any volume. Yeah, I could just pop from one tab to the next without having to go in and out and sharing every time. But the ones with volume, then I have to share everything. So I'm just learning how to make this a little bit smoother, and it's not working out yet. Hell, John, you want to come in, brother? Give your opinion. John F76. I've been running across him in a few Ethan streams. I think it's Ethan, and over in I think Dan Frager's too. But yeah, we've been hooking up and saying what's up to each other. So yeah, so okay, let me see. I'll just put one in the chat, or I can try. Where's do I have your link on YouTube? I mean, not YouTube. Do Twitter? Do I have your link on Twitter? So, if I do, then I'll send you Twitter in your DMs. I don't think I do. I don't remember seeing you in there. But yeah, what do you think about these companies, being too big to fail? And every time they come into some problems, because I don't think that they're too big to fail. I think that they're just the right size, because now this COVID came and seen all of these people laid off and a record high in unemployment, and these companies are still going. So why do we have to bail them out? They got all of these billions and trillions of dollars. Why do we have to bail them out with our money? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I remember when they bailed out the was it GM back in the like 08 or something. Obama bailed out General Motors.
But that was to keep jobs alive, and they paid back the money. It wasn't like he just gave them the cash.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not really into economics too
Well, me
heavy, so I
either.
don't.
Me either. I'm not gonna be going into no deep economics. I'm not no economic whiz. I'm not what's his face? I'm not Young Ripper. He knows all of that stuff about libertarianism and democracy and Democrats and Republicans. I really don't know all of that stuff. I never really delved into all of that stuff because I don't really care. So for the most part, I've always sensed that the poorer or the middle class and below have more in common with each other, no matter what political leaning we might have. We still kind of have more in common than the rich and these major companies who've never given a good crap about us. Like I said, before in other streams, usually back in the day, we never trusted companies. We believed that they was treating us wrong with subliminal advertising and subliminal suggestion, things like that. So we never trusted corporations and stuff like that. But it seems today that everybody trusts them. It seems like they look forward to to everything that a company has, and now they're fighting out fights for us. Why do you think that they're doing that? They're using these moist ass individuals. See how I tie that in? They're using these moist ass individuals to fight their battle, put them on the front line, and basically what you see is happening. It's like another rise of Hitler coming up, but from the left, because they're forcing all of their propaganda on the public. Everything that now we have to say is being it's like we are forced to listen to whatever crap that they have to put out. Commercials, in movies, the movie stars are jumping up talking about how much we had to listen and all of this garbage. Come on. We've never been bombarded with politics like that. As far as I know, there's been, shows here and there and maybe rioting and things like that. But as far as having it in the movies all the time, no, they would have one particular movie like Roots or some, one particular movie. It wouldn't be in everything, and it wouldn't like shout down every other movie that's ever been made that has an opposite lean. Oh, you know what I mean? And that's what it does now. It's like everything that came before, like Going with the Wind, has to go because of all of these soft ass, moist ass, soggy ass individuals who's gonna get their feelings hurt. Come on, I lived through the era where there were no black. Well, no. We had Sidney Poitier and a lot of these stars who was on the rise before I was born. So we did have them, Eartha Kitt and all of them, and Lena Horne. So there was these people who came up and what's his name, Belafonte. All of these guys came up and they started their thing and had their movies and stuff that was representing. Of course, it wasn't all over. It wasn't like we had black people in every movie like some of my favorite movies. But like I said, those movies were made like in 1938 with Cagney, Angels with Dirty Faces. White Heat was probably made like in the 40s or 50s. And some of those are my favorite movies. You think I'm going to throw all of that away just because there were no black faces in it? Hell no. Because the story still works. Everything about the escapism and storytelling, all of that still fits. But now we have the rise of the moist, the rise of the moist Reich, and which I will get on to. I was going to put that in. Yeah, I sent you one, man. I sent you in the DMs. I sent you in your DMs. Go into your DMs, and I sent you in the private DM. And yeah, so having these moist people, and then everybody's following behind them. I guess what the Bible says is true, that the someday the planet's going to be taken over by the meek. And that's what we see is happening now. Everybody's screaming for the meek. Even in the wild, women fight for themselves. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't stand up for women when things are being done wrong, but I don't see all of the wrong that they're seeing. I don't see all of this hate when they're preaching masculinity and misogyny. I don't see all of that hate. I just don't. I don't understand where it comes from, where they're talking about. They might want to say that it's inbred. I don't see it because I've been raised in this misogynist environment so long that I just can't see it. So it's ingrained in my manhood to be a misogynist, that every opinion that I have is misogynist on its face because I can't see my misogyny. That's bullcrap. This is bullcrap. This is bullcrap. This is bullshit. It's not bullcrap. It's bullshit. Because I don't hate women at all. Just because I recognize that women are not as strong as men physically, that's being misogynist? No, that's a fact. I guarantee you the majority of women standing in front of me want to go toe to toe, and I'm not a fighter, a professional fighter. I probably whip their ass. An average woman to an average man, you're gonna probably whoop her ass, unless you're one of these meat dudes who don't mind sitting back and letting a woman tag them. You know, because I have never hit a woman in my life. Well, maybe when I was a little bitty kid, but that's because she kicked me in my ass. It was on the playground. She kicked me in my ass really hard. It hurt. And I just spun around with a punch and took off running. When I turned back around, she was on the ground. And I said, oops, but you shouldn't be kicking people like that. I don't make no apologies for it. And that was like 40 years back. We didn't get in trouble. I might have gotten in trouble for it, but I told them what happened. So anyway, I got kicked out of school anyway for fighting, but that was because I was always defending my sister. Somebody messed with her, I had to jump up. That was how my pop said. One of you fights, both of you fights. So that's what I had to do. So yeah, but as far as going a woman as an adult, just going off, hauling off because I don't agree with her or some crap like that. Nah, I've never put my hands on a woman in my life. I came close. No, I did slap a girl, you know, but she slapped me. And so I said, don't do that. And to prove my point, how you shouldn't do that, I held her arms down. And this is just to prove the point. I put my arms around her back, forcing one arm behind my back, and the other arm I held down with my hand. And I just slapped her in the face repeatedly over and over and over again. Years ago, probably like 20. So anyway, just to tell her, you know, show her I'm stronger than you and I can take advantage of you however I want. Don't fuck around, because if I do decide to hit you, you're not going to like it. So that's what I tell all girls. This other girl came, I was hanging out with her, and she's from Turkey. So, and this is the part that made me lose it. First time I ever had to threaten a chick in my life. But we was talking about Midnight Express. I don't know if you know that movie, but it's about Turkey. Brad somebody was the star. Brad Williams, I think might have been the star, and he was trying to smuggle some hash out of there. And what happened was he didn't make it. He got busted and he had to do time in this really harsh prison. And we've heard about this for years, back in the 70s. And this movie came out and, we saw it. I saw it in the drive-in. I was a young kid. And that just shows that, my parents didn't hide me from anything. I saw Death Wish, the rape scenes, all of that. We, whatever we saw, we saw. We wasn't kept from anything. Oh, you too delicate to see an R-rated movie because you're less than 8 or 10. No, because by the time the 70s came around, I was like 8, 9, somewhere up there. So like that, I'm being vague on purpose, people. I'm not trying to give away my age and have people trying to dox me or steal my identity and all of that. So I'm never going to be specific or tell my birthday or stuff like that. My name, yeah. When my comic book drops, I'm going to give my name, my face, all of that good stuff. But for now, I'm just going to keep me to me, just for now. Yo, what's going, John F?
Hey, Alex.
How you feel? It's my first time hearing your voice.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear him, Al?
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Yeah, that's good. That means you're live.
Sorry for the delay. It just took me a while to get set up. Yep.
Not a problem, bro. You here. And I'm just starting. We supposed to be talking about moistness. But I got kind of, being that they both kind of connected. So I'm trying to lead up into that. Moistness is just soft people, weak people, people who choose to be, well, not necessarily choose, but who've been raised and taught how to be weak, soft, gentle, not know how to stand up for themselves, or talk a lot of crap and don't know what they're talking, that type of stuff. Like that SJW, anti-Comicsgate Twitter fight I had last week with Testicle and his Becky boys. So these are weak individuals.
Those guys are nasty. They really are.
Yeah, they all fought. It was like 3-4 of them tried to jump me, gang up on me on Twitter, and I pegged all of them. I pegged all of them. They just kept calling me SJW over and over. So I didn't get around to inviting them on Twitter. I gotta create the Dozens background, and I'm probably gonna have to put some hood characters in there because that's where it comes from. It comes from the hood. Guys who come up from the hood. The Dozens is just when somebody says something slick to you. Oh man, you a sucker. You this, you that, or talk about you. Talk about your kicks, your sneakers, or your clothes, and you don't like it, you take offense. That's when the Dozens start. Somebody usually starts cracking back, and everybody gathers around to hear the jokes, and you cracking back and forth. And usually how it goes is if somebody says something about your moms, somebody say no moms, no family, but then once you bring up somebody's sister, moms, whatever, it doesn't matter how you do it. You can say your mom's house, and that's enough. You shouldn't have brought up my mom, and now it's open season, and we tear it up. And people laugh, and you can switch off, because sometimes when the person's losing, everybody's laughing and pointing in his face. He'll try to get that dude and try to bring him into it in order to get the heat off of him. So it'll go around the table, and some people will leave. Oh no, y'all starting this shit and run. That's a weak dude. That's somebody who's moist.
Yeah, but actually, to do that, you have to be street smart. And these war campaign guys, they're all going off a script. They don't even listen. They have their script.
Exactly.
They repeat the same things, and it doesn't matter what you say.
Exactly.
And they could not live in 2 seconds. They couldn't endure 2 seconds in a real street confrontation.
No.
Seriously.
Like I said, I wouldn't even have to put my hands on them. I just roast them.
No, exactly. No, because
I would just roast them.
In order to do dozens right, you have to be sharp on your tongue and your
That's
mind.
right. And know how to link them joints together.
Yep. Well,
And
it's like rap. You have to be able to, you have to
it's
be
just
able
like
to do those
rap battling.
rhymes. Yeah,
That's right.
it's exactly.
It's just like rap battling.
These guys could not. You take them off script and they're dead.
That's it. And that's what I was doing. I was just roasting them. So they told me that I lost, even though I called each one of them different. I called one of them Peg Leg Pete because he liked getting pirated. I called another one a Peggy and his friends, the Peglets. Another Roe is Peg Master General because he leads all of them up. And that's what happened. I was commenting on Roe because he had started talking. He had put all of this, and I broke it down in the other stream. He had put down this list of his Black Dragon thing. So I said, yo, what's going on? Because he had it broken up like, you want us to break. And then it says, we are the dark, we are the dawn, we are the eternal blackness. And then, no, he said, we are the eternal, and then blackness is separate on its own line. That doesn't make any sense if you're advertising. First of all, you wouldn't say blackness, you would say darkness.
Yep.
We are the eternal darkness in the corner of the room, because that's what he goes on to say, in the corner of the room. And then there's one other line, and I forgot that one. And then it says Black Dragon. So I said, hold on, why you using blackness? What's that got to do with war campaign? And I heard what went on with you and Anna. So I know now you trying to use blackness to promote your shit. All right. And immediately here comes Testicle and this other dude named PC Twin. I call him Peggy Cuckman. So Peggy Cuckman and Pegleg, here they come. But Pegleg, he knew what he was dealing with right away, and he backed off. He said, okay, can we be friends? Can we be friends? So I said, okay, I'll let him off the hook. And then here comes Peggy Cuckman, and he wanted some. So I had to give it to them for the rest of the night. But I was also on Ethan's stream trying to do my wrench duties, and I wound up kind of slacking in order to handle these fools. So,
it's funny because I will tell you, I looked at Anna's thing, Anna's cover, and I think I know why disturbed people. I'll tell you what. I mean, I think it's technically it's well done. Uh-huh. The problem is that you look at the body and it looks like a character on Jessica. It looks
like
Rabbit.
A caricature.
Caricature. But when you look at the head,
what's the name? Vampirella.
But I'm thinking of the movie Who Killed Roger Rabbit. So that's what the body looks like. When you look at the head, though, it looks like a human head. And that's a disconnect that I think that was a little disturbing because
it's like a little more cartoony than comic book. You know what I mean? It's more like for a cartoon than a comic book. I don't care. She's an artist. The girl went to school.
Understood.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm arguing against their point.
That's just
whatever point.
It's just a matter of opinion. It's just as an artist, you do what you do, and not everybody's going to like it. But that's the other thing is you can't expect every piece of art to be that's their best effort. Because if you look at actually, I like the Anna improvements on the New Warriors. I thought they were outstanding.
I'm going to one up you. I appreciate your opinion on the whole thing, but it really is. It doesn't really matter as far as the point is made because Diamond and her made that arrangement.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with Comicscape.
Yep.
So if that's between them, Diamond or whoever the company was that decided to give her this opportunity, why would anybody in Comicscape have anything to say about it? This is the woman who built up her. Exactly. That's why they started fights with Ethan.
They couldn't control Anna, and they were afraid Anna was getting close to Ethan. That's stupid. That's totally
even the reason why he was attacking her.
Yeah.
For that whole sister thing.
Yeah.
because of their gripe with her being welcome into Ethan's circle.
Yeah.
And what's that got to do with you? You have your own. You got War Campaign. Why are you so hung up on what Ethan's doing and what John and them are doing? Build your own shit. And if he gives you a shout out, be happy. That's all.
And here's the thing too. Even, you know, Comicsgate, I know we don't like SJWs, but if you're honestly, if you want to do something and that's your thing as being SJW and you're not attacking other people, you're just putting out your own comic, who cares? You can call yourself Comicsgate.
You can call it that because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what people in Comicsgate say about it. What matters is the consumers.
Yeah.
They'll decide whether you're Comicsgate or not.
Yeah, and if you get an audience, good for you. That's the whole point of it. It's a business.
She's got an audience bigger than most of us put together.
Absolutely. but the thing is, Ethan was right. He wanted to get that audience in. He wants to grow it by bringing in other people.
And she's bringing all those Star Wars people with her.
Yep.
Come on. What are you complaining about? What they're so stupid about is that those people are gonna look at your book too and want to buy it. So no matter what you're talking about, her being in Comicsgate helps.
Yeah.
Because all of those 130, 40, 50 people she got, how many of those are gonna buy your book because Ethan said, hey, these guys got a good book and we backing it. And now that Ethan says, now that they pissed her people off, her and Ethan, how many of those people are going to buy their book?
Yep, absolutely. I know.
It's stupid. It's counterproductive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not the point.
You're cutting off your own nose to spite your face. You can't worry about what the next man. Liam did the same thing. He's so busy worrying about who's going to be platformed and helping the next. Worry about your own thing. Stop worrying about somebody else's. I'm picking fight with Testicle and all of them because they got bigger stuff. They said War Campaign don't pick on smaller creators. I got 31 subscribers now, and 2 on my other channel, and so maybe 40 on Twitter. So they jumped me. They jumped me over there on Twitter. Just because I asked about what's going on with the black thing, and I didn't even make any accusations. I just asked the question.
But you want to laugh about Leon though. He was complaining, well, why are you running this at the same time I'm running the show?
Yeah.
Hey, Leon, we can watch. It's not like we can't just go back to your channel and watch it later on. It's like, you know, I can't watch. I'm not up at 3 a.m. to watch Ethan's stuff. I watch it the next day.
That's right. This is what kills freedom.
Yeah.
Comicsgate is freedom.
Yeah.
It's the most freedom that me as an artist is gonna have. I didn't have this type of freedom back in the day.
No,
there was none. I had no place to go. I've been drawing since Gigantor was on TV.
Wow.
I'm over 55. I'm less than 60, but I'm over 55.
I got you beat there.
Yeah, man. So, see, there you go.
Yeah, 66.
See? Yeah. So here we go. I've been drawing since Gigantor. Been on TV.
Well, good for you, Hoth.
You know what I'm saying? You still a youngin', Hoth?
No, yeah. I'm 86 years old.
Oh, you really?
No.
I was about to say, because you don't sound it. You got a nice young voice. Well, yeah, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I was mentioning the thing with like the War Campaign and Liam and just like the jealousy that they display sometimes is almost like a sign of weakness. Like if you're jealous, it's really really
you're showing just how moist you are. You showing just how moist. You've already bent the knee. You've already given up your power. That's why I call this power time, because you already given up your power. Power has nothing to do with what other people give you. You can't empower somebody. That's like that saying. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's the same thing with power. If you are weak, you are a soft individual, you are a moist individual. No matter what you do, somebody can show you the way. They can tell you how to work out. They can tell you what type of attitude you should have. They can tell you all types of things. But as soon as you get out there, will you be able to engage and do what this person tells you? No, because it calls for strength. It calls for mental fortitude to be able to confront people and look them in the eye and inflict your sense of worth on that person. Your sense of self-worth on that person. And that's not insulting that person or trying to beat him up or anything like that. It's just back in the day, they taught us you always look a person in the eye when you meet them. You always give a firm handshake because these are signs of strength. People are going to look at you right out the gate. I'm telling you, I used to have this friend who I used to always, every time we used to engage each other, we used to try and crush each other's hands because we used to work out and stuff. So I used to grab his hand and I used to try and bend it outwards and then crush his bones together. You know, push right in the back of the center of his knuckles and then squeeze his bones together, and it causes pain. And that's what he's trying to do to me. But I always had strong grip. So most of the time I would win. It depends on how you get that first grip. If they grab you right, you don't have that good grip, you might be able to lose that one. But if you got that good grip and you slap that hand in tight and good, thumb to thumb, webbing to webbing, all the way up in there, man, then you get a good grip and you push your fingertips into the back of his hand and just try to grind his bones together. I'm telling you, you see, okay. And I used to do that a lot back when I was younger. So all of these things, man, you see, some dudes will tell you, yo, you got a firm grip there. That's because that's respect. People don't say Mr. and Mrs. anymore. They call you by your first name. This companies, especially companies who call your house or call your phone talking about, hey, I'm looking for Hoff instead of Mr. Rebel. That's a psychological technique to lower your defenses so that they can now pitch you goods and services. This is psychological warfare that they use against you. And I'm not no psychotherapist. It's just that I understand what weakness is. I understand what strength is. I've used these tactics against people who are now in prison for murder. I've not used it against them, but they respect me for how I handle myself. That's what I'm talking about. Because when it comes times to do what you need to do, when you talk to people, how you handle yourself is important because people look at you and how you conduct yourself. And it shows I can look at a person and just look at them and tell you how strong they are. How much I know I can get away with just because they look away from me or they look down. I'm talking to you and you're looking down and away. That shows a sign of weakness. You can't look me in the eye right away. That shows a sign and it also shows a level of respect that you have for me. Because you don't look down to somebody you're not afraid of or somebody in authority or something. If you're going to look away from your children, you don't make eye contact with your children. No, usually it's your children who's looking away from you, especially if they did something wrong. So, yeah, all of these things that back in wartime. Why do you think they come together to have these tete-a-tetes and these negotiations? Most of the time is to judge the other commander. Judge them physically on site. And that's where the handshake comes from. You have to show your open hand, weaponless. You don't have any weapons. That shows that, and especially your right hand. That shows that because that's usually the fighting hand. the one that holds the weapon and kills you. So you usually display your sign of peace as the weaponless open palm, and that's what usually determines. Then you give you a handshake. That's where the handshake came from. So I don't know if I pull that up. No, I didn't pull that up. But that's what moistness is. That's what happens when you have weak people who don't understand these things, and that's what we're raising. We're having all of these weak people, nerds and people who never really understood what strength is, because they were sheltered. They was taught that you are the better person because you're weaker, because you're you taking the higher ground. But what does these people actually feel when somebody's picking at them or bullying them? Do they feel like they're the bigger person, or they feel, especially when you've grown up watching superhero stuff, where they always the meek dude? Look at Captain America. Look at what in the beginning of that movie, Steve Rogers, he was getting his ass handed to him in the alley, but he got up and knocked him down again. He get back up, knocked him down again. He get up, put up his dukes, and what did he say? I could do this all day. That's strength. But you don't see no nerds doing that who get picked on. They just become the punching bag, the consistent weakling who's always getting sand kicked in his face. These are the people who are now growing up and teaching their kids that same weakness. And now with all of this internet stuff and COVID, and we got all of these teaching the weak to be weaker and weaker, and it's getting weaker and tough. And now too, it's time that we're glorifying the weakness. Mm-hmm. We're glorifying it. Oh, nerds are the greatest. Okay, they're smart. Okay, they have a part. They have their part to play. You see Bill Gates doing his thing. I bet you he's not no nerdy, moist-ass weakling no more. I guarantee you he's not, because he knows what power is now. He has to tell people what he wants, how he wants it. All of them dudes. Who's that dude in Facebook? He might have gotten picked on as a kid, but I bet you now ain't nobody picking on. I bet you he's telling people in Washington what to do.
He learned that early. I'll tell you a story. Back in 1980 or 1982 or 83.
Yeah,
I had a friend at a computer shop, and this is back in the old days when it was DOS and maybe Windows, 1.1 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they were going up against IBM's OS2.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of I was invited to, for the new Windows back then. And there was a couple of Microsoft reps there. And you would not want to meet these guys in the back alley. They were nasty. They said, this is how you can just demonstrate the other operating system and crash it deliberately.
Uh-huh.
And, we'll give you licenses, but you gotta, not do this other stuff. And we had to all sign NDAs.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, you would not want to have to deal with Microsoft people back then. This is back in 1983.
That's great, but that's great. But as an individual, if I had all of their knowledge and a company even if they was coming up, they still got financing behind them. So they know where they're going and they know what they're doing, and everything works out great because they're pushing that business power, that money, that finance and all of that. But as soon as one of them get out on the street face to face with somebody, where does that power go? Out the window.
No, that's true. But again, I said money talks, and you can buy an awful lot of power and influence with the amount of money they have.
Yeah. But imagine someone who also knows how to stand up for himself on the street. Oh, how much more power does that individual have?
Quite a bit.
Because that's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
It starts inside the individual. It took somebody else's wealth, somebody else's, power in order to give these people their sense of fortitude their sense of, okay, we have to do this. We have to be stern. We have to tell them how it's done because this is what we need done and we need to get it done by this time and that time. So it takes somebody else's power, but to come up and be raised to understand, hey, you need to have this amount of fortitude and understand how to deal with people. That's why you don't, because that person, even though he got all that money and power in business, what's he going to teach his children? He's going to teach them the same things that he came up with. He might teach them how to be good in business, but as far as how to handle other kids in school and all of that things, they're probably going to come up doing the same thing their father did, because he has no clue on how to handle social interactions on that level. And it only took my father one time to teach me that. He took me out by my hand. I know I said this before, so if I'm being repetitive, hey, I'm just trying to, because this is the first time I get 5 people listening to me, so I don't know if they heard me before what I said. So let me repeat it. I came home one day, maybe about 5, 6 years old, crying about how some kid was picking on me. And we didn't say bullies back then. Some kid was picking on me. It was either you fought or you didn't. So he grabbed me. My father's about 5 foot. I'm 6'1". My father's about 5 foot, 5'1" at best. Had a limp, disability, all of that. But he is strong. My mom said he ain't never backed down to nobody in his life. He got arrested in Africa because he was a merchant marine. Fighting on the ship, he got arrested and locked up in Africa, all of that. He said, he told me personally that was the worst time he ever spent in a country. But yeah, so he had gotten hurt in his 40s, and so when I was a kid, I'm like the 4th of 4 children, the last child of 4 children. So and I have a twin sister, 6 seconds older than me. So when I came in there crying, he grabbed me by the hand, took me outside. He said, stop crying, stop crying. Took me outside, walked down to the corner, and he said, show me who he is. And I pointed him out. Of course, I'm feeling good now. My daddy's with me and all of that. He bends down to me. He looks me in the eyes and he says in a low voice, if you don't go over there and kick that boy's behind, I'm going to kick yours. And that was it. I looked over at that kid, walked over there, rained some punches on him. He said, that's enough. That's enough. Grabbed me. Let's go. We went back home, and I never had a problem with fighting again. Never. That was all it took. And he told me, not to get into any fights. Don't be picking on people. If somebody hits you, you hit them back. If your sister gets into something, the both of y'all fight. That's what the rules. I got kicked out of Catholic school in 3rd grade. When I went to 4th grade, I couldn't go back to that school, but we was moving anyway. So when we went to the new school, he said, no fights in school. If you have to fight, take it outside off of school property. And I did that. So I never got in trouble again. But yeah, if anybody was bothering us, whatever you want, let's go out into the dirt road, because there was a dirt road right around the corner from the school. Let's go to the dirt road. Let's go. So I never had problems. And back then it was always one-on-ones. So I could have a pile of dudes, 6, 7 dudes picking at, trying to look for a fight. Like one time, these groups of dudes was walking us to school. They went to public school right around the corner from my Catholic school. And I was going through the dirt road, but they came up behind us, threw a snowball. I told them, yo, one of those snowballs. I didn't even look back. I said, yo, one of those snowballs hit me. All right. So he said, they threw a snowball and hit the ground, slid up, hit me in the back of the foot. I turned around. And they all split like the Red Sea, left this one kid standing there. I said, I knew they put him up to it, because that's how it was. Everybody picked the weakest one and put him up to do it. So I went up there, punched him in his chest, because I realized he was a punk of the group. But I just had to show that I wasn't afraid of none of them. So I walked right through in the middle of all of them and punched this kid in the chest, and then went, grabbed my sister, and kept on moving. Never had a problem from them again. They would talk, and I'd walk right past their houses. They'd talk from their stoop, but none of them ever come out into the street. None of them. And I'd be by myself. That's what I'm saying. I've never had. Nowadays it's different because you got all of these moist ass, the moist right, and they jump up and they want to jump you. If you disagree, they jump you, and they got all of these people that'll jump and beat up on you at 1, 3, and 4, and 5 at a time on one person. That's weak. That's moist. This is what's the moistification of America is going on. And with all of this crying about diversity, I'm telling you, nobody was crying about that. We was crying about equality with Martin Luther King. But all of this diversity crap, with everybody jumping on the crabs in the barrel. Oh, man. Oh, I got to show this video. I got to find this video. Hold on, people. I'm going to look this video up real quick. So, because y'all going to have to see this. Well, it's not nothing spectacular. It's just crabs in a barrel. Crabs in the barrel. And because what I've noticed over the years, because when I was younger, all of these people who are calling themselves brown, none of them wanted to be associated with black folk back in the day. Not one of them. Matter of fact, there's a Puerto Rican dude that I work with. He said that he put white on his application. So, why all of a sudden now hip hop drops in the 90s, and we got Japanese even said, "Yo, what's up, yo?" So, and now everybody's brown. Everybody wants to be connected to black folk. We don't see nobody trying to steal Japanese culture, Chinese culture. Now, you see a few people back in the day, used to wear gis and Chinese slippers when Bruce Lee came out, and then you had all of these martial arts TV shows that used to be on Saturdays. Yeah, we see a few of the brothers especially had their gis, and they would wear them out in the public. But for the most part, yeah, they trying to show off how much karate they know. But for the most part, those guys would get their behinds handed to them too. Because I'm telling you, I never learned martial arts, and I used to spar with people who claimed to have black belts and all of this stuff, and they didn't. You could tell they didn't know what the hell they was doing.
Breakdancing was the same thing.
That's right. A lot of people who claimed to know how to break dance, and they didn't know what they was doing, but they try to get over it. I see a lot of dudes that had their cardboards out in the city and trying to collect money, and they rolling on the ground like idiots, and people giving them cash, because back then nobody knew it. That was a style nobody really understood. It was only like black and Puerto Ricans that was out there doing it at the time. And you know, back then everybody was pop locking and learning all of those little dances, and man, so yeah. That's just what I'm saying. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be down with black culture. And you see Antifa rioting.
But you know the thing with black culture, too, is that goes back a long ways. I mean, you go back to the 30s, or even then. I mean, people were taking blues and, trying to think. Bing Crosby would go to these black clubs with Cab Calloway and stuff like that, and that was all the big thing.
Guess where Elvis Presley got his dancing and his whole style. The Beatles came over talking about how much they loved Little Richard and Little Frankie Lyman and all of them back in the days, and Chubby Checker and them created rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
But it got flipped over to just mean, you know, rock and roll became the heavy guitars and all of that. And black people had to find something else. That's where R&B and the blues and all of that stuff, and then hip hop dropped in the 90s or in the 80s, the 70s. Matter of fact.
Well, hey, I
with
remember
rap.
I remember Soul Train.
Yeah, but that was just rhythm and blues and
And great
soul
clothes.
and
Great clothes.
Yeah. They didn't know. Well, nah, I didn't really like all that polyester back then.
Well, that was style.
That was the polyester era.
Everybody wore polyester though. Everybody wore it. You know that.
Man, I was so glad when jeans came into fashion. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was great when jeans hit the scene. It was great because that's when everybody started getting really fancy. Because that was after rap had hit and the Sugar Hill Gang dropped and the hip, the hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip, the hop, and you don't stop. Rocking to the bang bang, boogie to up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Yeah, when that dropped, everybody lost their minds because that was the first time we heard original American black music, like heard on public radio for everybody to hear. It wasn't just one specific channel. It was like everybody was heard what rap was back in the day, because hip hop didn't come along until later, because that's when the whole culture came.
Well, that was the 80s, wasn't it?
70s, I think. The late 70s is when
Late 70s,
the Sugar Hill Gang dropped, and then through the 80s it kind of blew up, and that's where you had Rakim and all of them, and Boogie Down Productions and all of them dudes dropping all of their science and all of their hot lyrics, and they just got crazy and blew up.
Well, they got into video games and everything. I remember Black Sheep got their stuff in the video games.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan had a whole video game just about Wu-Tang and RZA and all of them in there fighting. They had a whole fighting game.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to do a video about why some of these dudes like Method Man isn't coming over to Comicsgate and helping some of these guys promote their books. If you guys like comic books, then come over here and help us big up Comicsgate, because Comicsgate need the help. And I know you don't give a fuck about no diversity, Method Man. Come on. You don't care about all of that crap.
Now let's make something people will buy. That's what everybody needs to do.
That's right. Because back then, he's a corner boy. He's an ex-corner boy, a hustler. So he knows if your ass ain't out there hustling for yourself, you're not going to get paid. So to have all of these people talking about, oh, we need diversity. No, you don't. We need diversity is when, okay, you got Oprah, you got Tyler Perry, and you got Magic Johnson. Tyler Perry has a movie studio. Oprah has a TV channel, and Magic Johnson is hooked up with AMC and those movie theaters. How come we're not seeing all of these black movies like back in the 70s? It doesn't have to be blaxploitation where we're just killing white folks. It could be just black movies, all kinds. I'm talking about black Star Wars, black Westerns, black cop movies, black. It doesn't have to be only. But how come they're not putting out? If you have that network where you can put together a movie, then you got TV and you have movie theaters to play them in, then how come you're not using it? We don't need people or Disney to diversify movies for us. We've got Tyler Perry, Oprah, and Magic Johnson. How come there are no Magic Johnson movie theaters in black neighborhoods? Because they're not any in mine.
Just the money needs to go there. I mean, that's the key. You gotta get
the money. The money doesn't need to go there. We need to start looking out for ourselves. That's what I'm talking about. If Oprah and them got the vehicle and the network, how come they're not putting more black actors to work? Why are they looking for Disney and Warner Brothers and all of these other motherfuckers when they could be doing it themselves? They got a TV channel, so she could be making, all they doing is making soap operas and nighttime soap operas and talk shows. What happened to the black comic book superhero TV shows for us?
Oh, you mean like Static Shock?
Yeah, that was created by black people. Why not take that whole line and put it out, even if they have to go to Philippines to have them animated, just like every other animated cartoon. We usually send it to Asia. We don't produce it here in America. We usually send it to one of those Asian companies with all those millions of people who are all in there animated for like a fraction of the cost. And they put out this spectacular stuff. All the DC shit came from over there in Asia somewhere. I got every last one of DC's animated series and TV and movies, DC movie universe movies. I just got finished getting Hush. I watched that over the weekend. No, early yesterday or the day before. I just got finished watching Hush, and I just got what's that other one? Dark. Justice League Dark Apocalypse. I haven't watched that yet. But yeah, I just got finished watching that, and I just bought that. So, and all of those come from Japanese. You can see the Japanese anime influence in the art. Excuse me. So how come we're not doing the same thing, but just with black characters? You got Icon. We got Icon. You got Hardware. You got the what's his face Syndicate.
Spawn.
You got that's what's his name's Todd McFarlane. That's Todd McFarlane's Spawn is Todd McFarlane's work. I'm talking about black creators and black original black characters made by black creators. I have nothing against Spawn because I have the series, I have the HBO series, I have all of the comic books, so I have nothing against Todd, but he already has his vehicle. He already had HBO pick up his stuff. But there's a lot of black characters that's not getting picked up. I'm talking about created by black people. They're talking about diversity, but where are the diversity is when a black or any person, it doesn't necessarily have to be black, but any person, whether he be Asian, Indian, Arab, whatever, when he creates something and then he builds it into something for everybody to watch, then he benefits. Not a company like Disney or Marvel or AT&T or Warner Brothers. No, we're talking, because I'm sure none of them got their boardroom chock full of black people. And I say they have the right to do whatever the hell they want. It's their company, right? So where were the black companies with the black people who are at the helm creating black content to put on TV and movie theaters instead of waiting for Disney to come up with Black Panther? Why aren't we? You telling me there's no black fantasy writers? I'm a comic book creator. I've been talking about how I got like 10 different stories, but I know they're not going to come to me because I haven't proven myself yet. So okay. But Antonio Bryce got Brand. His is out.
Yep.
And he did a good campaign. Where's all the black dudes and the black people in Hollywood and Method Man and all of these people? Where are they now? Why aren't they saying
Hollywood's a swamp? And it's like, if you don't kiss butt, or if you don't, it's
they're looking out for their own interests. They're just screaming this diversity crap so that they can put a gold star on their paper and say, look, I was a good kid today. I got a gold star.
Hollywood won't take any risks anymore. Look at all the reboots. When's the last original thing that came out?
I don't think the reboots is about not having content. I believe it's trying to rewrite history, I believe that they're trying to rub out all masculine archetypes.
Oh yeah, Shaft.
They're trying to
Was
wipe away.
they tried doing that at the Shaft.
Yeah. You see how Samuel L. Jackson in that last one, he was a little bit more comedic. They're trying to, and then his son is extremely moist. His son is extremely moist.
Yeah.
He don't want to touch a gun. He throws a gun out the window. Really? He wasn't considering all of those children that play in those alleys and stuff. Come on.
That was crazy.
This is what they're doing. The moisturification of America. This is what's going on. They're trying to wipe out all male archetypes, iconography, all male icons, all John Wayne. Even though, hey, I don't like John Wayne, but I buy his movies. He was a racist. He said that black people don't deserve to have any power until they can be proven that they can use it wisely and all of that. Charlton Heston. I love the Ten Commandments. I love the what's the one in the chariots? Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur. I love all of that stuff. I was raised with all of that religious stuff. I bought and own all of them. Ben-Hur, The Robe, Demetrius and the Gladiators, Samson and Delilah. You name it, I probably have it. I have another movie which it's a great movie because it's one of those movies that every time I watch it, it's guaranteed to make me blubber. I'm talking about that type of crap but it's called The Song of Bernadette. And it's a movie with Jennifer Jones. I think it was made back in the 30s. And it's about this woman who, she's kind of simple, and she finds Mary. She finds the image. She sees an image of Mary, but she just called it the lady. And the image tells her these things, and she reports it back to the people of her village, and they call her stupid and all that stuff until one day she proves that that she was seeing something because the lady told her to dig in the dirt to unearth a stream. And she did it, and they was all laughing at her because she was bathing in this mud and had mud all in her face. And then when everybody grabbed her and took her away, the spring popped up through the spot where she was digging, and the water came down. The thing about the movie, they had these little miracles that they showed. The thing about the movie is not the religious side that I love so much, is how people treat each other. People treated each other in that movie like shit. The people that you expected to be the best, like the church. And I'm not going to tell any of there's going to be no rot. And that means spoilers. No rot in this anything I'm going to say about the ending of this movie, because that's the most important part of the movie, and I hold it so much in esteem that I wouldn't dare spoil it for you, because you have to see it for yourself in order to garnish the reaction that I'm telling you about. I'm telling you about being strong and not being weak and all of this stuff, and then I'm telling you how I'm blubbering like a little baby over this movie. And that one and Angels with Dirty Faces. There's 3 movies that elicit that type of response. Angels with Dirty Faces, The Song of Bernadette, and when Queen Latifah bought it in Set It Off. She went out like a trooper. I just had to shed some tears. So yeah, but that's it. Those are my 3 kryptonites. Those are my 3 kryptonites. So yeah, watch that movie if you can get your hands on The Song of Bernadette. I believe it comes on FMC.
Turner Classic. Turner Classic.
Yeah. Watch those movies, man. I'm telling you, there's another movie, but it's not as sentimental. It's called The Miracle of Our Lady of Fatima. And that's all about a miracle happening. The same thing about Mary coming to these kids, and they're conversing with her, and she's telling them certain things, and they're listening, and the people go against the kids, and it's just that's the thing that bothers me. These people are supposed to have so much faith, but the first sign of true faith, and they question it to the point to where they want to string these kids up and do all kinds of foul things to them and treat them badly, man. I'm telling you, and it just disgusts me because I come from that religion, and I love movies with payoff. The payoff is that the bad guy gets his comeuppance. So that's why I love Ever After with, and I don't love it, but I like it a lot. With Ever After with Drew Barrymore, because it's not because of the love story, it's because of that payoff at the end when Angela Houston, the wicked stepmother, and her stepdaughter gets their comeuppance at the end. So that's why I like those types of movies, the payoff. And not only that, I'm telling you about these movies because when I come out with Might, I'm shortening the movie. I'm shortening the comic book. It's not going to be the Might of Thug City. It's just going to be Might. So when I come out with Might, I want you to cry. There's going to be scenes where I want you to shed a tear for some of my characters. And in order to do that, I have to pay attention to these movies that actually made me cry. And like I said, I know I'm not the type of person that cries for no reason. And those 3 movies really dragged it out of me. So every time I watch Angels with Dirty Faces, when it comes to that part, man, it's like, I'm telling you, I'm like a blubbering fool.
You just get that attachment to the characters. Once you get that attachment to the characters, and they mean something more than just something on the page.
And it's the premise. If you have to see it, like I said, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who wants to watch it. And if I start discussing it, it's going to ruin it. So it's the premise that he does this act, that he commits this act at the end of the movie, that I just had to go out because it was like the most gangster thing that somebody can do. And it was like, damn. That's all I can say, man, because if I say any more, man, it's gonna blow up at the end of the movie. So you have to see it. I'm gonna try and put up, if they let me, I'm gonna put up the whole version on my channel. I'm gonna do a live version because I have the DVD here, so I'm gonna put it in.
Get a strike. You'll get a strike off of that. You don't
No, I see them got old movies on right now. They got the whole movies playing. They got the 4D Man. They got that playing. The whole thing is playing on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that too. But I mean, you gotta be careful now. YouTube's going nuts with striking.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm going to find out what they.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to.
The problem is that if somebody doesn't like you, they're going to DCMA you and strike you, and they'll snitch on YouTube on you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But like I said, I think the most that they'll do is give me a claim. And at first it would be a claim. Oh, I don't want to show this. And then later, if somebody really complains, because usually when I have a problem is usually right after or during the stream. So I don't really have a whole lot of problems with the well, I haven't showed anything in its entirety, but I showed most of that. If you look through my videos, there's one video about Spriggan. It's a Japanese anime, and I showed every fight scene, every action scene in that movie. I showed, just let it play through, but except for I was doing commentary the whole way. I was doing commentary, and then I would the quick scenes where they was talking. Then I would discuss it, and then I would jump to the next fight scene, and I would let the movie go. So, and I got struck for one scene where I didn't get struck. I got claimed right for one scene where in the bazaar, he was being chased through this bazaar, and they claimed that part, and I thought it was because at the end, he said nobody can stop a Spriggan, and he throws it towards his blade towards the screen. So I figured maybe that they was trying to use that, or maybe the music. They don't ever explain to you why they claiming it. They just said it happens in between this and that, and you're supposed to figure out what you did wrong on your own. So I didn't. That was my very first time getting claimed, and I just recently went back and submitted a refusal or a dispute. I disputed it, and they finally released it. So now even Spriggan doesn't have a claim on it, and so the only ones I still have got claims on them is ones that I showed clips, just like I always do. Conan the Barbarian, and then I showed a clip from True Romance where at the end, well, not at the end, it's in the middle of the movie, but the mob guys are talking about. That's like yesterday on the Jack show, Cecil was on there with a suntan, and he's talking about how much he's got dark skin because he's Sicilian. So the first thing I thought of was that clip from True Romance where they talk about the Sicilian has basically they would Christopher Walken was torturing Dennis Hopper to find out where his son went, because his son stole like 20 keys of cocaine from him, and thinking that it was his girl's belongings, her clothes and stuff. And she was a call girl or whatever. So he wanted to get her out of it, and he's playing this tough guy, so he goes to get Alabama's stuff. So he gets beat up and tells the girl, but he comes out on top, shoots the guy, tells the girl to get Alabama's stuff, and she brings a suitcase, and he just grabs a suitcase and leaves, but he leaves his ID in one of the guy's hands. So that's how Christopher Walken tracks him to his father's house, and they get to his father's house just after him and his girl leave. And so they're torturing him, cut his hand, and they pour alcohol in the middle of drinking alcohol in his palm of his hand. And he realizes that they're going to kill him no matter what he does, because he's heard of these people before. He was an ex-cop, and now he's a security guard. So they have him there in his trailer, and they're questioning him, and they beat him up, and they cut his hand. And so he finally realizes what's going down. So he says, yo, let me get one of those Chesterfields, and he's smoking it, and he says, let me tell you a little story, because Christopher Walken is talking about how people have a pantomime, these certain things that people do that give away whether they're lying or not. And I can see some of them, if that's true, that a woman has like 18 or 17 or something like that, or 20 something, and a man has like 18 to 17, a woman has more. But if that's true, everything that he said in that movie is true, then I can spot some of those things, like looking away. That shows weakness. And if somebody asks you a question and you look away or look up to the left, I forget which one, look up to the left or the right. One side is your creative side of your mind, and if you're looking up to that side, that means you're lying. If you're looking up to the other side, that means is your statistical side. That means you're searching for the right answer. So, but most of the times when a person is looking you in the eye and you ask them a question and they look away, it doesn't matter where. If they look away from you, they can't look at you in the eye when they talk to you. That means they're lying. So that's usually what you do. You to base it all out. If somebody looks down and away when you asking them questions, just ask your kids something when they do something wrong. It's the purest form of finding this pantomime. So anyway, being that he had explained all of this stuff about the pantomime the first time he claimed to catch him in a lie and bust him in the nose and split his face open, he realized what was coming. He realized, and then the second time he cut his hand open. So he said, yeah, okay, I know what's coming. So he tells him this story about and then ask him whether it's true or not. And he goes on to tell him this whole thing about the Moors conquering Sicily and how the Moors were niggers and eggplants and all of this crap and how they conquered Sicily. And all right, with the fireworks. Oh, ow, ow! I'm getting bust, y'all. Yeah, but that's right outside my window too. Damn. So he's telling them how the Moors conquered Sicily and and how it used to be in Lower Italy, just like it was in Upper Italy. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and then after the Moors finished fucking, it became dark skin, dark hair, and so
I've been there. He's talking about Palermo down the south, and you can see all the Moorish architecture. But the Normans, the Franks, were there first.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about. I saw their castles too. Absolutely true. I mean, I'm my family's from there, from actually around Messina, so I know the story.
Well, that's what I was saying. See, that's just what I was saying. That how when you making a story that's fictional, if you put factual information into your story, it lends more credence to your fiction. It kind of bases it in fact. So telling that story, it being true, kind of lends credence to the whole story, the whole thing. So anyway, right then, after he tells that story about them Italians being niggers and calling them eggplants and all of that crap, you know what happens. He gives him the kiss of death on the cheek, grabs his gun and blasts him in the head. But that's what the intent was. He wanted to get it over with. He didn't want him to be torturing him, prolonged torture in order for them to get the information. And he realized that they would have eventually got it out of him. So he basically forced them to kill him. So that was a really good clip there from that. So that's what I try to say. Everything with people doing things when it comes to movies and TV shows and all of that stuff. I love using these things because it's good for helping me tell my stories. And when I tell my story, that's why I want having a database like all of these old movies that I know can drag tears out of me, and just studying them to the point to where I can replicate how they drew that, by getting me to know that character, putting me through all of the different things that made him what he was. And then when that ultimate time comes, when things happen, you have to go, yo, okay. No.
Well, speaking of old movies, and I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's a great movie. If you can, I think it's running on Turner Classic right now, if you can find it.
Okay.
Stormy Weather.
Stormy Weather. I've heard of it.
I've
probably seen it too, but it's been a while.
Watch it. You can find this on YouTube sometimes. It's Nicholas Brothers.
Okay.
The Nicholas Brothers, Fred Astaire called them the greatest dance act ever. They have a dance scene in Stormy Weather that's absolutely, one take, and you will not believe how good they are. Unbelievable. Stormy Weather is great. It has Cab Calloway in it. It's a great movie. But I highly recommend it. Great. You'll like it.
Yeah, I believe it. I was looking for this crabs in a barrel thing, but I'm not finding the one that I found where they actually show these crabs crawling over each other. Because that's what I'm saying. Say that again.
There's a great movie. Speaking of old dance movies, it's called "Hell's a Poppin'." And there's a scene in that movie with a really great dance scene.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's an old movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta try and get my hands on a lot of those old movies. I'm going to try and collect some of those Abbott and Costello movies, like the one where they met all of the monsters. I think that was Abbott and Costello meets the Dracula, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one where they had all of the All of the characters, Frankenstein, Dracula, the werewolf, the mummy, had all of them in that one. It was funny. That's the one that I remember the most.
Turner Classic does that occasionally, I think.
Yeah. But no, I gotta own it. I can't depend it because what Turner Classic and all of these people are trying to do is get this whole what they want is to have you streaming. They don't want you owning. All of that stuff is gonna be moving to streaming where you gotta pay for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was lucky. I was looking around for a copy of Blazing Saddles, and you could not get it. I finally found one on eBay with Last One.
Yeah,
and it's coming in from Canada.
That's what's happening, man. They trying to make it harder and harder. They forcing you. This is not a something that you're choosing to do. They are forcing you into streaming. That's what I believe. All of this SJW stuff, even maybe this whole Corona scare, because now they're saying this. Yeah, back at you too. But they're not. Oh man, they're just blowing my whole game up. They're crushing me because it's right outside my door, my window.
Hit the deck! Hit the deck!
Hit the deck!
Yeah, the Moors are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris.
So yeah, what was I talking about? They got me all off by.
Oh, the movie situation in Hollywood.
Yo, yeah, the movie thing. That I believe this whole thing with comic books and video gaming, and I'm going to work right into video gaming too. But with video gaming and movies and all of this, this is the left being Hitlers. This is the rise of the moist right. These weak ass people getting backed by the authorities of these corporations. And the corporations don't care about you. They don't care about no diversity. They're trying to use people in order to carry out their own agenda, which is making money and forcing you. You notice all of the movie theaters are starting to talk about closing because this social distancing. How are you going to get people in there to watch a movie with all this social distancing? You got a six seats apart or some crap like that, or 2 rows apart. How are you going to get people in the theater? They're going to close the theaters. I think that was the plan the whole time. That's why they refused to change the format of comic books or the movies with all of this. We got to have women taking over what men did. And it's never anything where the people who are, they're not trying to build anything for themselves and put it next to the men and say, see, we can survive side by side with Superman. We can stand shoulder to shoulder with Batman. We can stand shoulder to shoulder with the Justice League. We can do all of these things, or with the X-Men, or anybody, any of these famous properties. No, what they're trying to do is destroy all of these icons so that your children don't have anything to look up but these daggone moist-ass individuals. They don't have the strong male figure to look up to, so they don't know how to be strong. That's what they're trying to do. That's their war. They call themselves warriors. They're not warriors. They're social jackboot wannabes. And they're using the authority of Disney, Warner Brothers, AT&T, DC, Marvel. They don't have no power. You don't see what's her name, Ayala?
Vita
Ayala. You don't see her with no boss position. She's not editing for Marvel. No, she's a bottom rung person. On the bottom floor, entry level, just in a place where they can say, see, she's a writer. This other dude, Ta-Nehisi Coates, with his crap. See, they just put them in. But where the big black artists that they're promoting in these books? You don't see any of those. I haven't seen any black artists that they've held up as icons of this SJW movement. Where's the black artists? I don't see them. At least they're not. If they're there, they're not holding them up. And I'm not fighting any fight for black artists to be put into Marvel. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if they're looking for all of this diversity, why aren't they putting these artists in here?
Because they're not looking for talent.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, they're not. They're looking in the wrong spots.
They're trying to destroy it. They're not trying to compete. It's about destruction. It's about wiping out all the Supermen, wiping out the Batman, wiping out the Justice League, wiping out the X-Men, so that they could come with safe space and this Batwoman who's gay and all of this other crap. That's what it's all about. And to have you falling in love with Lena Dunham.
Yeah, I know. You could build those type of characters. Don't swap them. I mean, there's no reason why you can't build.
But would you buy safe space even to put side by side with a X-Men or Batman or Superman?
Again, if you change the look, if you change the attitude, if you change some of the powers, sure. You saw what
they're not achieving they're not achieving their point.
No, that's
it's to destroy male iconography. Yeah. So if you change it and make him strong and give him good color schemes and you give him a good story, then you're creating the same thing that men created already.
But you look at back in the 90s, they had the head of the X-Men was a black woman.
Yeah. Bishop was in there. Look at how many powerful black characters was in the X-Men. Bishop, Aurora. I know there had to be another. That bald head kid, Cinch. Or Think. There was a few.
And they were popular. That was the whole thing. People loved them back in the 90s. You couldn't get, that was the number one.
They never really received high quality storylines.
Yeah. That's the thing, because like good writers. There are plenty of good white, black, Asian writers, but now you can't write. That's the other thing. You can't write unless a story about a character unless you have the same race or same thing as them. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we should stop a white man from drawing black people. That's retarded. What I'm saying is that how about having a black writer and a black artist putting out their version of their interpretation of superheroes in the same fashion?
Superman, that would be perfect. McDuffie with Superman would have been perfect.
It doesn't have to be a Superman, but just create black characters. It don't have to be mimicking the characters that they already come up with original ideas. We don't want to see the same thing just in black. I don't want to see the same thing just in black.
No, I'm not talking about black Superman. I'm saying there's no reason why, if you're a good writer, you can't write. It takes work to learn, study, and understand the character. And maybe you might want to call in somebody and say, "What's your experience been?" So I can run stories by them. Say, "Is this realistic?"
Let them put out a good quality story that sells. Yeah. Pick up somebody who has good quality stories and that sells, and then bring them on board. But what I'm trying to say is that if you have this character, like say this is diversity in my mind. If Stan Lee had the opportunity to create all of those characters, right, with Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and all of these guys, and they created their version of superhero of a superhero universe, right?
Right.
We can't have some group of black artists, creators who come with their version of a superhero universe and stand side by side with Stan Lee's version of what a superhero universe is. So and it's not pointing out, and it has a diverse cast among the people, but it's not going, hey, this guy's gay because he needs to be gay, and this woman's a woman because she's a woman, and she can beat any man's ass because she's a woman. You know, it just has quality stories, quality characters, but told from the black person's perspective.
Sure.
Because, you know, we're not trying to say black is power, black is right, and all of that. No, just happens to have black characters in it.
But that's how you get good stories. It's people from different backgrounds. That's exactly what you need.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I have my universe and Stan Lee has his universe and an Asian dude has his universe told from his perspective, no matter how he wants to tell it. If he wants to tell a white superhero story, why can't he? If I want to tell a white superhero story, why can't I?
But it takes a lot of work. You know, it takes a lot of work to be able to write a convincing character. You know, because if you haven't lived that experience, I'm not saying it's impossible. It takes a lot of work.
He did it. Stan Lee did it. They created the Falcon. They created Black Panther. They created Aurora. They created all of that. They just didn't focus on their race. They created the superhero, and they didn't say, "Oh, it has to be about black." No, it's about a woman who has these powers, and oh yeah, she happens to be black.
Yep.
That's the story that I want to tell.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell black power stories and black suffering stories and black slavery stories. I just want to see a black character on even footing, just being told a great story. He has a bad guys. Y'all love the bad guys. It don't matter what their color is. It just that he has these challenges that he's never faced before, and y'all love it. That's all I care about. It doesn't matter what color the characters are. All of my characters ain't gonna be white. all of my evil doers are not gonna be white. There's gonna be a mixed up blend, because there's a mixed up blend of good and evil in the world, even though I don't really necessarily believe in good and evil. But okay, in the story, we have to have it that way. We need bad guys, good guys. So you have to have a diverse sense, because everybody has their own motivations. Everybody. It doesn't matter what black and white. It doesn't mean black people's motivations are purer than white people. This is ridiculous. So to label a black man good because he's black and a white man bad because he's white is absolutely absurd. And that's what it seems to be what these SJWs are doing. White. I'm sorry for my privilege. And come on. What privilege? Black folks got privilege too. Look at it. You got Japanese folk. I showed it last week. You got Japanese folks talking just like us. They scratching and cutting and doing all of this DJ stuff. Where do you think that came from? It's not like they wasn't DJs before, but they just wasn't doing it the way we did it. That's all. So I don't understand. I don't understand if it's okay for some, they talk about cultural appropriation, but people appropriate our culture for years, and we're the only people that can't make money off of it because they won't let you. They say that you can't make money off of culture. But what if they did make money off of culture? Every time you wore baggy pants the way that we was wearing it in our videos, hey, the company got to pay. You know, I don't know. I'm not trying to make no new laws. I'm just saying, it's just funny how people find their own excuses for doing things just because they have an excuse for doing it. Not necessarily that it's the right or the wrong thing. It's just that they have their opinions, and that's all that matters. And you should feel exactly the same way as them. And I don't agree with that. I don't believe that that's how it is, and that's how it should be. How you feeling, Hoff? You still with me? Are you still with me? Or are you trying to take over the show again?
I'm taking over the show. I'm kind of hungry right now, but um, I saw a really great documentary called Fresh Dressed. It was about Cross Colors and like Fat Farm, like all the hip hop clothing brands,
Yeah.
and it was really it made me think of Comic Skate and like how it's like this new this new
Where did you see that? I'd like to check that out.
I got it on Pluto TV, like a streaming service.
Oh.
It's a
Um,
free streaming service, so you can get it on your PC
Oh, okay.
and
All right.
Roku.
All right. All right. I might have to check that out. I want to see
Yeah.
what they say about the whole clothing line because it just vanished out of thin air.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff on Pluto's, tons of channels. It
Yeah.
really is nice for a free service.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out because YouTube is, from what I understand, they're getting kind of crazy with everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, they took down my comic book stream because I was singing one of Biggie's song and it said nigga in it. So you know how I got it back? They released it. I sent them a feedback. I sent them a feedback because they said I sent them a dispute and then they said dispute rejected. So okay. So I sent them a feedback. I didn't want to dispute it again and tell them all of my information. So I just sent them a feedback saying, I'm black, stupid. I said, I'm black. That's me in the picture right there. That's me, stupid. I thought y'all had $100 million push to help black artists. Well, I'm a black artist. I don't need your money. Just stop messing with me. And then they released it. So you mean, and right there, I can understand how messed up it is for when you tell one group of people say that they can't say something, and then another group of people say you can say whatever you want. It's crazy because I understand both sides. I understand YouTube's point because in my reality, if somebody called me out my name into my face, I just pop them in the mouth. And if they don't like it, they can either stand up and put their paws up or walk away in disgrace. But on YouTube, you can't do that. So people got to eat it. And so I can understand why YouTube would, keep certain people from saying things. And being that it's black culture, it's kind of being restrictive to prevent us from saying it. So it's kind of an odd, sticky situation. That's why this whole internet thing is crazy, because you can get away with things on the internet that you can't get away with in real life, and vice versa.
That's true.
And it's not fair. It's not.
No, but it's true. It's not fair, but it's true.
It's crazy. So let me see what I got here. I got this thing that I want to share. Yeah. We was talking about the moist people. So we was talking about these I was talking about how I wanted to talk about how people, this big business thing. Now, they said the Trump administration won't say who got 511 billion taxpayer dollars for this corona loans. Now, why would they want to keep that information from the public? If it was just going to small businesses instead of going to these big corporations who should be allowed to fail. Because what happened with these big businesses when they see, just like what's happening now with AT&T, once they see some of these corporations falling by the wayside, what will happen is they will have to AT&T sells And see, so once these companies start, because these companies are bloating up on purpose, the more power they can gain, the better for them, and the more power they can inflict upon you. So this is why I don't agree with bailing out big companies. If they bloat themselves on smaller companies, and then they expect you to pay for it, and that's not fair. If you can't handle it, if you can't pay the handle what you've taken on, then you shouldn't be taking it on. In my opinion, I think that they should stand up for what they supposed to be sticking with. Now, AT&T ad directors sell up to $10 billion in assets a year. But wasn't it AT&T that just got finished buying Warner Brothers, which included DC?
Yeah, but that was before the COVID thing hit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. COVID has only been like a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, right? And already they're losing so much money that they have to start selling off. Well, that's what you do. If you're going out of business, sell off those companies, whatever you got to sell off, do whatever you got to do, cannibalize yourself, do whatever to survive. And if you can't, somebody else will pick up what's falling by the wayside. Why do taxpayer dollars have to pay for this? To help bail out these companies who bloated themselves up, and now just because something happens, now they gotta, and they bloated themselves. Remember, capitalism is not supposed to have these big monopolies. They're supposed to have made laws preventing monopolies. But now you got these super companies, and then, oh, they're too big to fail. And that's your responsibility as a citizen of the United States to bail them out, because they're using taxpayer dollars, our money. Oh,
Well,
it's because that if these companies fail, all of the jobs that will be lost. Well, look at all of the jobs that was lost to COVID. And we ain't seen no major, we seen the major disruption, but we survived, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to give all our money to these major corporations. We'll survive. Whatever happens, we'll survive. And some companies, some smaller companies can come up and take the place of where whatever they can chop up the major companies into smaller companies, which what it should have been in the first place, and let some of these mom and pop stores be able to survive and thrive, so that in neighborhoods we can get people who can get jobs, young kids can have jobs, after school jobs and all of that, instead of having all of these major corporations like AT&T and Amazon, who's employing, they're buying up everything, employing everybody, and we depending on this one company to provide jobs for millions of people. Get out of here. That's what's wrong with this United States today. That's what's causing all of our problems. That money, and allowing these people, and then allowing them to create these lobbies who then pay off our politicians to allow companies to become citizens, to have the right to vote. Really? They already got the right to vote. It's called employees. It's called board of directors, the presidents, the CEOs. They already got the right to vote. Now the company has a right? Really? Come on, people. We giving away our power. We giving away our power to these entities that have no power. They have nothing. None of these major billion-dollar corporations can do shit if we decide to not buy any of their products. They can't do anything. We just have to learn to say no. Stop being crackheads, because that's what's the problem. We acting. Look at video games. Video games. Oh, we slipping right into video games. Video games have been running shit. They've been telling us, "Mind, you don't like it, fuck you." They've been literally saying that. They've been literally saying, if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. We're gonna do what we want. We don't care, because they get when the PlayStation first dropped, they was putting everything in the games. I played the first. It was either the first or the second. I think it was the first. What was the name of that game? Was it Far Cry? And they gave you, not only could you create your own characters, you could create your own maps to play on. They had a map editor. You had multiplayer. You had single player. You had all kinds of stuff all on one disc. And it was more fun to play than most of these games that they have out today. Now, probably going back and playing it now might not get the same experience, because you're not going to have the graphics and whatever flaws, kinks that you might have gotten used to playing. They're going to be fresh and new again, so they're going to feel really clunky. But if you can remember playing those games when they first came out and you got used to playing them the way they were, like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, you play that today, the driving feels funny. Everything feels a little off. But back then, Grand Theft Auto, not Vice City, San Andreas was the best game they ever made. Was the best game they ever made. Matter of fact, when the Grand Theft Auto 3 dropped, everybody thought that was the shit, because nobody saw third person open world like that. Third person open world, that sucker got. Woo! Oops. I messed that up.
Yeah, that game was huge. I remember when that came out.
Look at all of the things that they gave you to do in that game. All of the things that they gave you to do. You was able to work out every day, exercise. You had to eat. You can paint your cars. You could buy houses. You could play in casinos. You could do all kinds of things in that game. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they cut it down. They cut it down to Grand Theft Auto 4, and you couldn't do half of the things that you could do in that game. Not even half. You couldn't even do half. I don't even know if you still spray paint anymore. You know, you used to put, or was that the other Saints Row with the spray paint?
No, I think it was San Andreas. You could like tag the walls and stuff.
You could tag up walls and all of that. They don't have any of that stuff in there anymore. They cut it down, and then they give you this chopped up version. None of the side missions. The jumps are very rare, and you can only do one jump, and it's hard to find the jumps. But in San Andreas, they was littered all over the place, and they gave you all of these spectacular jumps to try to jump, and they give you this spectacular, like when you made the jump, they give you this award, and they would pop and explode and do all the kinds of things and let you know that you achieved something. It was so many different things, block takeovers, gang wars, all of these different things that you could do, and none of that stuff is in there. And now all you could do is play missions. That's it. And maybe some little pop-up side missions here and there, which are real rinky-dink, not really that great. And it's the same thing with Grand Theft Auto 5. It's basically a ripoff of 4. Instead, they gave you 3 characters to play through, and the worst character to play through is the black dude, because the storylines that they should have played with the block takeover and the gang wars, none of that's in there. That should have been real exciting to play Grand Theft Auto 4 with the 3 characters that they had, with all of that stuff that the hick dude had to play. with his gang stuff and the meth lab and all of that stuff. He had everything going in. The black dude, he didn't have no. There was no drug dealing. There was no nothing in that. I could have turned that game out. I'm telling you, if I ever got the chance to make a game, just give me a crew of dudes who knew how to make a game and knew how to work out all of the glitches and kinks and stuff. They knew they were professional at working out all of the kinks. I'm telling you, I believe that we can play the best type of video game today that has ever been put out. All you need to do, I believe that we've already made that perfect video game. It's just that people don't want to make a great game anymore. What they want is to make garbage and have you buy it. And that's the thing today is you're going to eat it and you're going to like it because it's good for you. It's like broccoli. Everything in media today is like broccoli. You're going to eat it and like it, mister, because it's good for you.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
And it's a bait. They do like a bait and switch when they, they give you the awesome San Andreas, they give you an awesome game, and then they take it away and
take it away. And then you know why? So now they have some place to reach for. Now they can say, hey, well, we have something to make it better. We can add this. But no, you're not adding anything. That's stuff that was already in the game, and you took it out, and now you're trying to put it back in and saying that you're giving us some kind of monetary value. All while and they're not even doing that. What they're doing, they stripped it bare, and then they're putting all of these things in there to make you pay more money. All these
DLC.
Yeah, all of these downloaded this and what do they call them?
Loot boxes.
Loot boxes. All of these loot box garbage. Games back in the day, they didn't do that. They gave you the game and they flooded it with everything they could think to put in it to make it of value so that people will buy it. And then once they got you, people are acting like crackheads now. They act like they can't do without it. They have to pre-order it. That's just like a crackhead. You don't even know what you're getting, but you pre-order it. Like this game, The Last of Us. I don't know. I wasn't going to get into it, but with all of this gay stuff and it's got nothing wrong with gay. You want to be gay, as long as you ain't trying to stick something in me, I don't care. You can be as gay as you want to be. Get married, have kids, even though I don't think that's right, introducing kids to that. But hey, people gonna let you take kids and introduce them to this stuff. Hey, all right. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be gay, but all right. If that's how
the problem is with the new game is that The Last of Us, they're destroying the characterization, the stories they had in the old game. That's what the big gripe is.
That's destroying that icon, that strong male icon.
Yeah.
And putting all of these and then replacing it. This is the thing that bothers me with comic books and with this game and thing that they're putting together is that they're not trying to replace them. Their idea of a strong woman is a strong man. Because what they're saying about this Last of Us is that this woman is a big hulking man. She's all muscled out. She got a man's build, man's body. The only thing is that the face is somewhat has a female, and you know that it's supposed to be a female because I guess they tell you the whole time. This is what I don't understand. If you're trying to create something to compete with what men have already created, then make something that compete. But you use this woman to kill off the man, so then automatically you're saying this man is soft. You're saying he's moist. That this woman, hand to hand, one-on-one, can defeat a man. And then on average, You think that that's possible? Even though it's later on average, say let's put two comparable sized men and women. Let's have a man who's 105 pounds, 110, 15 pounds, go up against a woman at 120 pounds, but at the same skill level, taught the same things, trained the same from the same person, all of that stuff, and then you pit them against each other. You think who do you think is going to win that? They know jujitsu, they know how to kick, they know how to punch. You believe that that woman's going to has a 50-50 chance of winning, or is it more like 70 30, 60-40, 80-20? I'm just asking.
Well, unless you're going to make her like Bane, pump her full of drugs.
No, I'm talking about a woman. I'm talking about a regular woman, worked out, got a strong, fit body, works out just like the man does, lifts her limits as much as she can, trains the same way that the man does. But when she's powerlifting, she's lifting her max, and when he's powerlifting, he's lifting his max. They're trying to get into the same exact shape. He's about 115 pounds. She's about 120 pounds. Right?
Right.
About the same height, everything. Body mass, everything. But they're working out the same. Training the same techniques, boxing, stand-up, kicking, jiu-jitsu, grappling, all of that stuff. But the only difference is that one is a man and one is a female. That's the only differences. Nothing hulking, no steroids, nothing. You just put them in the ring and expect the same, that you expect the result. 50-50, that the man and the woman have an even chance of winning, or is it more favored towards the man or the woman? What's your opinion?
Unless she's Black Widow, it's going to be the guy.
Of course. Unless she's some supernatural being or like a comic book character, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The woman's not going to beat him. And I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but the odds that the woman can win 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be the man. I'm giving one time to the woman just on the odds that she can pull off an arm bar or a neck crank or something, or choke, because I don't see that happen either, because the man is going to be stronger. He's going to be able to pry the woman's arms away easier than the woman can hold her grip. And not only that, he's going to be able to lift more weight, so he's going to be stronger, even though they share the same weight and everything. He's still going to have that extra strength, so he's going to be able to he's going to be able to fight his way out of positions that the woman would not be able to fight out of because of his strength, because of his gender. So
woman has to use her wits or something.
Yes, it has to be something that he has to make a mistake and leave himself open for something that won't allow him to power out of it, like a rear naked choke or some kind of a triangle choke where the legs are used, because a woman's legs are going to be stronger than a man's arms. So yeah, if you could get him into like a triangle or something like that, where she got a lock around his neck, and you got him in the right position to where the carotid artery and the jugular veins are being cut off, so that the blood supply is not going to the brain. Yeah, but the odds that she can get that's going to be the tough part of it. That making sure that she can get that. The odds are that 9 out of 10 times that she probably going to be failed 10 out of 10 times. That's probably the odds. But I want to give at least that one time where he makes a major mistake, leaves his neck open, leaves his arm out there, does something wrong that allows her to get the upper hand. I'm going to assume that that's a possibility. That it's not an impossibility that she can possibly pull off a win. I don't believe that is an absolute possibility. That it could never, ever, ever happen. So that's just my opinion on it. So, but this whole let me see. I wanted to go to the I believe it's what do you feel? What do you feel about that whole game and what they're doing with forcing this whole thing? Because what I understand, it's they Young Ripper said, and as well as another guy called Skill Up, he said that they force you from one thing to another in this game. That they force you to make decisions that you don't necessarily want to make. It's like you have no choice. It's basically like you're playing through a movie. It's already, the outcome is already known. Everything is already basically predetermined, and you're just basically forced to perform like a monkey and a grinder. What do you call them? The monkey grinder box. So that's what I want to know. What do you feel about that? What do you think about the opinion about how they're trying to make these games to where you have no choices? When we were going the open world game and you open up your choices, they were making games where you had the ability, like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is making these choices, giving you all of these choices and different routes to take and different ways to in completing the game. All of these things. Yeah,
it's lazy programming. That's exactly what it is. I mean, if you're a good programmer, you can make your NPCs give you tons of choices. If you're a lazy programmer, it's a lot cheaper, and that's one of the problems. Is they're getting cheaper talent now to write these things.
Well, would you want to play that game? Would you want to play a game that's forcing you to make decisions in the game, especially in this era where they were making games like let me see, what's the name of that? Kingdom Come?
Yeah.
You were playing this game where you had all of these choices to make, and Skyrim, games like that where they give you these different choices and how you can complete missions and go about doing your day-to-day. And now they're taking us backwards to where
or Skyrim, you can do the quest, or you can just go around and just romp around the whole world for fun. I mean, those are choices you can make. I mean, if you don't have choices, what's the point of playing a game? It's like a job.
Well, that's what this game is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Young Ripper said, and I would have played his video. Yeah, maybe I think he has a 12-minute video that he has up. Let me see because I think he does say, he explains everything. Young Ripper, he has explained the game. He says not to buy it, and he says because of the story. It's not because of the gameplay or the graphics. He said he didn't even want to really deal with the gameplay. He's talking about the story and being forced to play the game in a certain manner, because he says that the character that they forcing you into playing, that you don't even like that character, but they forcing you to play with the character that's basically the bad guy, right? And they're forcing you to play with him as if he was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like you would do at the end of the game, you would want to be the person who's avenging the death of your friend, not playing as the person who killed him. And that's what he says in here. Oh, did I share it? No, I didn't share. I didn't share the volume. Hold on, I gotta. Hold
I
on.
also think that they're trying too hard to compete with movies and TV with that narrative, a strong narrative in the game. It's
Strong woman narrative.
no, just in general, just having it being so story driven, those games being so story like so linear. It's like they're trying to make it like an interactive movie when they should
I don't want
just
to play that game.
embrace. Right.
I
Me
wanna
neither.
play that game. I don't want to play none of those games where they opened up the worlds. They made an open world. I'm enjoying it playing those games, but they have you doing the same things over and over and over because I know how to change it. I know how to make it because I've been playing these games since I've been playing asteroids in the back of pizza shops and the back of grocery stores and all of that stuff. I've been playing Dig Dug and Pac-Man and Joust and Asteroids and Spy Hunter, all of these games. So now that you finally opened up the world, you don't think that I know how I want to play my game? And they're not giving that to you. They've gone backwards. They started giving it to you, and now they've gone backwards. And now all they're giving you is graphics. They're putting all these graphics, but the gameplay is no better than games 3 and 4 years ago. The games, all of them, you name it, none of the games that's really producing anything good of any substantial quality. It's all about the graphics.
You may want to check out the indies, though. I mean, like Comicscape, there is an indie group in games.
Yeah.
So and
yeah, but they're not making those AAA games. They're not making those AAA games. They're not making games like Call of Duty and
no, but they're good games though.
Yeah, but again, see, back in the days, indie games were the lower price games that didn't like the fighting games and games. What was that British game? It was a British game where you didn't have a reticle. You aimed over his shoulder and just right down the sight of the gun. It didn't have a reticle, so you didn't know where the bullet was landing. You just could you had to aim down the barrel of the gun, just like in real life. And I don't think that it allowed you to put a reticle on there. So I think something nights, London, Streets of London, something. I forget the name, but I still have it. I have to find it. I still have the game. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But I know I still have the game. I have to find it. But all of these games that came out like Time Splitter, nowadays, they would not be AAA games. They would be these, like you said, indie games. But back in the days, all of those games, every game came out. If you was making it, if they was being made, it was going into the mainstream market for everybody to buy. Now they only put out AAA games, and then you download the indie games. You don't really get to buy unless it gets big. Like what was that last one? Damn, there was a game that they were just talking about that was big, like Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come was a big independent game, and I think that they Indiegogo'd or kickstarted it.
Yeah, I invested in that. No, there's also like Star Commander, or was it StarCraft or something like that? That big indie game.
StarCraft. Yeah, StarCraft. Yeah. I remember StarCraft.
Yeah.
And not only that, what's his face too? The one with the mining.
Minecraft.
Minecraft too. That's another independent game that blew up, and now it's major. But it started out as a small independent company. But they don't do that no more. They don't make those small games and just put it out there. You have to get funded and all of that other stuff. And
Well, that's a good. I mean, but they do run campaigns though, like Indiegogo's for those.
yeah, but
There are Kickstarters. I don't know if they're still.
will you be able to get the people? Like if I wanted to create a game that would compete with Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed, because right now that's what I'm talking about. I can make a game. Well, I can't make it myself because I don't have the technical skills. I know how to draw. That's just about all I could do. But as a consultant, if you listen to everything that I said, put in this game, put in this, put that, put this, and take out this garbage, put this, put that, put this, and if you listened and you knew how to do that, being a professional, say a team of creators in the gaming industry, say like the people who made that Wheelman, Vin Diesel, he still had a company. I don't know if he does or not, but say he still has a gaming company. And I say, yo, Vin Diesel, bring your company my way. Let me work with you. And I guarantee you take out every last one of these video game companies. Every last one of them will come to you kissing your backside if you made this game. And all I want is like $10,000 a year to pay my bills until the game is finished. And then I want at least 200 million in the bank, tax-free money, because they're going to make billions. Why shouldn't I make 200 million tax-free? That means that they just have to pay me enough so that I can pay my taxes and have 200 million in the bank. And then maybe a little bit of some royalties, because the engine that you would make, you know, I would want a piece of that. So give me some royalties, some pieces made, so that I don't have to use my bank account to pay for my taxes on my house or whatever like that. So I could just sit back and lamp up, and I won't have to worry about ever working for somebody else again in my life. That's all I'm talking about. I just want to be comfortable. Tell you the truth. Only reason why I said 200 million is because I think that's fair. They make billions of dollars on those games. Is 200 million is nothing. So that's why I just want to get paid what I'm worth. That's all I'm saying, or what the idea is worth. So what if they did that, made that game, and it blew every game out of the water? It made the game playable, way more replayable as far as playing it the first time. It was way better a game experience because of the amount of things that it gave you to do, the way that the gameplay attacks the game is never been seen before. Maybe this cyberpunk, maybe it's touching on some of the things that I'm talking about, but I don't think it's going where I would go with that game. But I'm telling you, if you made that game that I'm thinking of and that I want to play, that I've been waiting to play since I don't know how many years, because I said, Dad, going to wait 10 years from now. Matter of fact, I believe back in 2008, 2009, E3, they were saying all of the games that they was going to be coming out with and how they was going to reinvent the system, and that you never going to have to buy game consoles again and all of this crap. And it looks like that they're full of crap, because here we go, they come out with another game console. And I'm telling you, my first console, PlayStation, well, that wasn't my first. Genesis was my first. But the PlayStation, I got 300 games for that. 250 for the PlayStation 2, at least 200 for the PlayStation 3. And the last one, I got about 20, 30, because they ain't got shit worth playing. They don't have nothing worth playing. It's the same crap over and over. That Horizon, Dawn Horizon, that's corny. same game, playing it over and over. Right after you get through the first or second mission, it becomes a repetitive thing over and over and over. The same thing with all of them. Far Cry, which is a better game, much better game, because animals jump out of the wild and attack you. They got Far Cry 5. They jump out of the wild and attack you, so it keeps you busy, but it gets repetitive. Again, repetitive, and I would change that whole thing. That game right there is perfect. I would change that game up. It would become a perfect game. That San Andreas or any of those Grand Theft Auto games, Red Dead Redemption, I would crush Red Dead Redemption. I would put Rockstar out of business. I'm telling you, I shit you not. You let me get a couple of good, high quality comic books sold, and if I can get like a few $100,000 campaigns going, I'm not saying that I will. Though I'm not cocky. I'm just saying, if I was to manage to pull some shit like that off, get like 2 or 3 of those campaigns under my belt, I'm going to try and fund a video game. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start off with something simple, like a cowboy western game, because there's not that many buildings and not that many people that you have to interact with as if in a major city like Grand Theft Auto. Much more buildings, much more everything. So it would be a lot more complicated. I would start on something small and work my way, like something like something feudal, where you don't have a whole lot of people side by side right on top of each other, where there's always something going on, because that would mean more computing power. So that's why I'm saying I would start with something simpler and then work my way up to something major like that, because that's where it is. If I had a game like that, or that other one, Just Cause, or that other one with the black dude who's spying around with the technical crap, he's like hacking different things like street lights and all types of things. What's it called?
Watch
Dogs. Yeah, Watch Dogs. Yeah, if a game like that, Watch Dogs, Grand Theft Auto, any open world game like that, I would kill it. My ideas alone would change the total industry, but I'm not giving it away for free. Y'all guys tell these people what to do, and then they take your ideas, put it in their back pocket, and tell you, kiss my ass. You'll take it. We'll take what we give you, and you'll like it. You'll eat your broccoli, and you'll like it, mister, because it's good for you.
My stream, and there was some things.
Can you hear it?
That we talked about that we discussed. I obviously didn't. Words, man. And the last video that I did talking about, the last was 2, and I'm gonna.
All right. So, anybody got anything to say about what I just said, or before we get into this?
Oh, I do actually.
Okay.
I feel like you're predicting the future. I think that just watching with Comicsgate, what they're doing with Comicsgate, I think that it's only a matter of time before some independent game creators come out and put their name out there and try to raise money the way Ethan did, to try to actually give the people what they want.
I said that in streams before. That's what Jeremy should be doing. That Jeremy from the Quartering. Instead of criticizing Comicsgate, he's from that gaming world. So why don't he go out there and get in contact with some of these independent creators, put them together, and let them create a game that they can say, fuck the major corporations and these major AAA companies. That's what he should have did with Gamergate. He should have took the example in Comicsgate and repeated it, because that's the only way you're going to get the power, is by showing them that we can produce something better. If they want to keep going down that route, later for them. You see what's happening to Marvel and DC now. DC is back on board trying to make quality books. but they're still trying to sneak in this diversity crap. But they're still trying to write the books a little bit better. Even Marvel, what I'm hearing is they're trying to start to write the books a little bit better.
Exactly. Yeah. The big companies are seeing the writing on the wall, and that the people are, the fans are taking over.
Yeah.
And the same thing needs to happen with the game industry. The fans need to stand up and say that we're not gonna keep downloading all the DLC. We're not gonna keep pre-ordering.
You need to stop all of that crap. You need to show them that your money is what's the power. You have the power. Your money, not them, because they see that you keep pre-ordering and buying this crap. So they know it's just like selling crack. It's just like selling crack. We don't have to come knocking on your door. We don't have to come knocking on your door, buddy. They come to you. Crackheads come to you. If you got the product, they come to you. They don't care. The only time they give a fuck is when they light it up and it ain't tasting as good as the shit they had before. That's the only time they care. But they gonna come searching for it. That's a crackhead. And that's what America is becoming. TV, movies, whatever it is. We're chasing them. Oh, we got to get Netflix. I got to have my Netflix. I got to watch it all the time. I call it your net. I talked to my nephew. I said, what you been watching on your net? that's your neck. And NECK. So, yeah, I mean, what you watching on your neck? So, yeah, I don't subscribe to those because I got all my favorite programs. I bought them. And once you get all of your stuff stocked up, then you're just looking to add to it. It costs you $20 here, $15 there, $5 there for a movie, maybe $10 there for a season or something, 15. That's how it was, but now everything is $20 and $30. A movie is $20. You'd be lucky to get something for $10, $15. Seasons are $30. Come on. This is ridiculous. And that's all because they don't want you buying it. They don't want you buying it. They want you to stream it. They forcing you into it. They claim that you're going to be able to buy it and keep it. Yeah, you purchased it. Yeah, you could download it, purchase it. Yeah. But what happens when you can't? Do you have a library to put that in? To download every last one of the things movies that you purchasing? Or are you putting it in their cloud? Are you putting it in their cloud where they have all the power? Where if you're not connected to the internet, you can't watch it. If you're not connected in some way to the internet, I don't have that problem because I'm connected to the internet all the time. I got my phone up my ass, I got my tablet up my ass, and I got my PC up my ass. Well, I just like turning on my TV. Sometimes I just like turning on my TV, man. I don't like having to turn on the computer, the router, and all of this other stuff. You got to pay all this extra in electrical bills just to watch a program when all you have to do is plug it into my computer. I just plug it into my computer and watch it. I can plug it into my PlayStation and watch it. I can pop it into my Xbox and watch it. I can pop it into my Blu-ray player and watch it. I can pop it in. Why do I always have to be connected all the time? Why do the companies need to know when you're watching TV? Why? And they do. Even when you're watching DVDs, remember, or Blu-rays, the whole experience was sharing it online so that they can know your business. Of course, that's what it's all about. They want to be so far up your ass. That's why you guys got Alexa in your house. You think Amazon don't know what you're doing at every moment of the day? Yeah, because Alexa is listening 24/7 for you to say, hey, Alexa. But all those other times that you're not saying Alexa, guess what? It's still listening. How do you know what's going back to Amazon? How do you know? How do you know they're not recording everything you do to find out how much time you spend online, how much time you spend, or getting ideas that you might come up with? And talk to, hey, your family member, hey, what about this? Have you ever think about something like this? And Alexa's right there going, oh, speak a little louder, won't you? Reporting all of your details and your good ideas back to what's his name, Mr. Multi-billionaire. How do you know what this thing is doing? How do you know? But people are openly invite, and guess what else? You have no expectation of privacy because you know that it's hooked up to the internet. You know that it's reporting back to Amazon because you tell it, hey, Alexa, re-up my order of toilet tissue, re-up my order of pens, re-up my order of this, re-up my order of that, right? So it has everything in there. And you're telling Alexa, hey, so it knows, right?
Yeah.
You know everything.
Scary.
About you, and you're telling everything, all your business, going right into Alexa. Right into Alexa. How do you know what's programmed to do? What it's not programmed to do? It's connected to the internet. There's no expectations because you know that it's reporting back. You know that it's keeping track of this, it's keeping track of that.
It could record your voice and then make you say something that you never said.
You don't. They can do that. You don't know how much information that is keeping, and then with all of this metadata, everybody's metadata. They collecting all of your information. I was just watching I was going into his website about Trump refusing to give money to big business, and all at the bottom it says, we got cookies and we take all your information and share it with our partners and all through our cookies. Why? Just so that I can look at your bullshit on your website? Why you have to share my information with companies? So who are they? Don't have to tell you who they're sharing it with. So how do we know they're not sharing it with the government? I know that's a conspiracy theory and we're not supposed to be talking about conspiracy theories, but how do we know? That's not a conspiracy. It could be possible. I'm not they're selling our shit. They're not telling us where they're selling it, who they're selling it to. You get DNA tests. They sell that information. How do we know who they're selling it to? The government is trying to put cameras up that can identify your face. When you get arrested, they take your iris. They take photographs of your iris. That's biogenic metadata. And they stockpile all of that. So who's to say in the future that they can't tell who you are from across the street from some camera by looking into your eye? You see what I'm saying? So they got your fingerprints, they got your face, they got your eye scan. What's next? Your breath, your voice. They're already doing that too. Where some companies say we'll use your voice for identification, right? You call up your credit card company, they use your voice for identification. How do you know that all of these companies are not shipping all of these metadated bio calculations of who you are to one major database? And they're putting all of these little details together, and then sometimes in the future when they have all of these cameras and everything put up in every little crevice of the city, they can pick you out as soon as, just like in some of these video games and some of these movies, as soon as the camera sees your face, it reads out on who you are, where you live, what you like. pictures of your family from Facebook, your DNA from DNA and Us, your breath from or your voice from your credit card company, your eye scan from some other company, your oh, come on.
It's like a spy movie.
It's like a spy, but how do we know that's not what's going on? I'm just saying, we giving it away. We giving it away for free for the sake of saying, oh, this is the future. This is progress. But you're rushing into this all happy games and fun times of it. That side, that's the only side we see. Hey, it's cool to have your face being recognized by your computer. It's cool. Yeah, but what happens when hackers get your shit and start using all of that shit to mimic who you are? Down to the T, DNA. and here's another good thing to talk about. You pay all of this money to places like Norton and all of that stuff for spying and scanning your computer to keep viruses off of your shit, right? Who's to say that these motherfuckers even coming after your computer anymore, because they're going after companies and getting like millions of people with one shot? Why would they waste their time with getting 2 and 3 people, one time here, 2 times here? Make a program and get 5, 6, 10, 15 computers with viruses, download all of that stuff to some website, and then they pick it up and calculate all of that stuff to steal your identity, when they can steal 1 million identities from some corporation that's got your ass locked down. And because that's what's been going on. You hear about this company been breached and gave up all of these identities, and this company's been breached and gave up all of these identities. Why do they need to come to your computer? Why? Why would a hacker bother with your computer when they can hack some company, some insurance company? Don't have to be Google or Amazon or something like that, or Disney. It could be some little insurance company.
Well, more likely a credit card company.
Credit card company, even better.
Yeah, that's even better. Hey, Hot Rebel. Yeah, I gotta drop. Anyway, I want to thank you for letting me on.
Anytime, brother. Anytime you want to come on.
All right. Well, you guys take care, and I'll be catching you on the catching you next time.
Okay.
Right on.
All right. Bye bye.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Later.
John.
Bye.
Later, John. Can read you.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go through this real quick because I think it's about time too. I just want to go through this real quick.
I'm going to expand upon that, as I have been doing the whole week. I don't care if you're tired of me talking about it. I really do appreciate all the support for my band's new single.
You're talking about
that
a
we
single.
in the destroy this nonsensical idea that the people that may dislike their product are bad people. So they're being called racist, transphobic, sexist, alt-right, all of these different types of people. They're saying that those are the ones that have an issue with the story. That's bull job, and I'm not going to allow you to get away with it.
You get them.
The story is garbage, and that's on the fault of whoever wrote it, whoever had allowed it to come into fruition, whoever thought it was a great idea to put out. And it's not just, yes, we know, and again, there's going to be spoilers. I don't care. I should spoil it for you. I don't want you spending your money on this game.
He go right out and say it.
I mean, that's just kind of what it is. Normies are going to norm me. But for people that have actually played this first game and see the story play out, it's already out. You don't have to play it. It is a very linear, story-driven game. And I'm not talking about the game.
He says very linear. It's extremely linear. It's like they guide you all the way through the game. And from what I understand, the first game, because I haven't played it. I have it, but I haven't played it yet. The first one, not the second. I'm not wasting my time on that garbage. Ain't nobody gonna shove no diversity up my backside. I got my own diversity to worry about. Never mind worrying about some female tranny, whatever. I don't have time and lesbianism and all of that. I don't have time for that. I got enough of my own problems to worry about. And like I said, if you want to live your life, go, do you. But don't try to shove it down my throat. I ain't asked you to shove blackness down your throat, but y'all do it. Y'all is all jumping about, talking about how black people need y'all help. Oh, the Antifa's out there. Oh, we're sick of it. We're sick of it. Why? Who did what to you? Who did what to you? Come on. But y'all get the right to maim, kill, destroy shit? Really? All right. Oops.
Play. I'm not talking about the graphics. I don't need to play it. Nobody needs to play it to understand what happens in it. The story's already out. You can see hours upon hours of gameplay, walkthroughs, and so forth. It's already going. It's already ready to rock. And because it's a story-driven game, you're not given any option. You're forced into these situations. We know what happens.
See?
You can see it. It's out now. No.
He says you forced into these situations. You have no choice. And from what I understand, that's what made the other game so good. Is because they gave you choices. He said he spent time playing online. In the online, not just playing it several times. He loved the game so much. He played it offline in single player mode several times, and as well as playing online. Him and his boys used to play multiplayer all the time. I've never played it, so I don't know what it's like, but I plan on getting into it.
People personally that did have review copies. Nonetheless, I'm speaking specific to the storyline. And if you play the first, yes, the game, a big time talking point as far as what pisses people off is what happened to Joel. But it's the context that makes it.
Joel is the strong male figure who raised this girl up and helped her be strong and survive the world that they were living in the first game. And then in this game, things happen to him. And he comes across a totally different individual.
Even worse. Not just even the fact that you got to play with a Big Mama Pump, the person that kills Joel, the way he dies.
Oh,
right now is a time for action. That's why USAA is giving payment relief options to eligible members, so they can pay for things like groceries before they worry about their insurance or credit card bills. Discover all the ways we're helping members today.
They forced me to play that.
It's not just that. You also have to take into consideration the fact that the situation that he was put in makes absolutely no sense. And I'm just using this as one big example. The fact that he was set up allows himself, Tommy, or what have you, to basically give up their full names as to who they are.
Okay.
Which obviously triggers Abby. Which I don't understand how she thinks her father being killed off, who actually was ready to kill Ellie in the first game. Nonetheless, I guess they have the more high ground there. Nonetheless, game actually tries to make you feel very sympathetic to Abby and try to make her a likable character. She's not.
That's the transsexual or transgender. Sorry, the transgendered one. She's some big hulking mannish brute and goes one-on-one battle with the man and just killing people left and right. From what I understand, she's killing all of the people from the first game, and all of the lesbians, they live. All of the lesbians. So what is that? Nobody. I don't want to even know that game. Never mind play it. I don't care about lesbianism to play no game to want to be, even if it wasn't all of this male weak thing. I don't want to be playing a lesbian character getting revenge for their lesbian lover because of what some lesbian did to them. That's too much. That's too much, man. Why can't it just be a lesbian who just happened to be fighting for their group that they're in, and they have this rival group who's trying to destroy them or trying to take over their thing or whatever? That's a story. Not lesbian because my pussy and because my breasts and I have ovaries and woman and lesbian. Yeah, come on. No, that's not how you get people to want to buy or watch or engage with your cause. It's not. This is why Blade was so good, because it wasn't about a black man who was bitten by, or whose mother was bitten by a vampire and he just happened to become this mixed breed. No, it was about a man whose mother was bitten by a vampire and he became this mixed breed. Oh yeah, by the way, yes, he happened to be black. That's why that movie was so good. And that's what I'm saying. We can make movies like this. We can make comic books like that.
And you should, Hater.
And video games. So what if they're lesbian and gay? Just don't bash everybody and force your politics down people's throat.
And I don't think that's what they were going for. You should hate her, though. It makes you hate.
And sorry about that, Rip. And then I'm going to pay $60 for the privilege for you to force feed me your crap. That's like going to a sadomasochist to get beaten. You know, you're going to pay for the privilege for some woman to beat the crap out of you. No, thank you. I'm not into that sort of thing. And that's what buying that game is. For me, it would be like paying some sadomasochistic chick to beat the crap out of me for 25 hours. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I wouldn't. And now, especially that I know what the game is about, never in a million years. He was saying during the stream today that somebody gave him $500 as a super chat, and he said, "No way, I wouldn't even take this $500 from your ass if I had to play that game in order to get this money." $500, I would definitely take a second look at it. But nah, I'd have to stick to my guns too. But yeah.
Hater, when you consider what's happening. But I don't think that was by design. But you know how cautious, how like he's not going to just trust folks like that initially, people that he just met. But he does that and it ends up getting them killed. That's what doesn't make sense. So it's also, and we've talked about this on this channel when it comes to the comic book, where writers write things to tell a story, no matter if it makes sense for the character to be involved in that particular situation.
And in storytelling, when you create an archetype, that means if you create a character with certain personality attributes, you're not supposed to just arbitrarily change them unless something major happens. Like this character he's talking about, he lost his family in the post-apocalyptic environment. They got killed by either zombies or whatever had happened. And like I said, I didn't see it. I just saw some of the reviews, but it was enough to let me buy the game because I heard it was good. So he's very skeptical of people because of what happened to his family. So now he's explaining now through this whole first game, they're showing this guy being leery of people. He's real cautious. He's because of these things that happen, deaths in his family, the people he loved. This is why he's this standoffish individual. He didn't even want to deal with this girl, but that he's with in this game. But she kind of got forced on him. She kept coming to him, and he didn't really want nothing to do with him because he was afraid of the loss. He didn't want to lose again like he lost before. And this is what the whole thing is. That's what drove that whole story in the first movie. I mean, the first game. And this is what he's explaining now, that all through the first game, you can see how cautious this guy was. And now all of a sudden he's throwing caution to the wind. He's telling everybody all their business. And of course, it's going to put them in jeopardy because that's not who he is. He changed the character for no reason. There's no extenuating circumstance that causes him to just spill his guts. But they put him all in these positions. They go against his character, and then they say, oh, it's for the best. It's ridiculous.
So Joel's death is jacked up for a multitude of different reasons. But also it shows the piss poor writing when you consider how he died. What got him killed is something that is antithetical to his personality from what we learned in the previous game. It makes no sense. And we know what happens in the ending. That also makes no sense. None. When you consider Ellie kills all of these people, gets her fingers bit off, doesn't kill Abby, makes no sense. But it didn't have to.
Yeah, that's another thing I heard. They're pushing all of this graphic violence, how graphically violent these women can be. That's what that makes no sense to me. You're talking about how misogynistic men are and how masculine, toxic masculinity and all of this crap. But then you turn around and make a man and all of the toxic crap that you're preaching against is everything that this person that you claim represents womanhood, you're fighting against, but only in men. It's okay for women to display these things, but men, how dare they? How can you win? How can you win? How could you be a woman's movement and win when you talk out both sides of your ass?
What was the idea, the motive here? I don't know, but we don't have to make excuse for that piece of garbage. I know a lot of people are going to support it out of spite because, again, they created the invisible enemy. They got to pretend that people that dislike this are those very, very bad people. And they just don't understand, right? And they just don't like to see LGBT. Like, shut up. The hell you talking about, man? The story is trash. And it is layers of trash. Layers of trash. You waited, 7 years for this garbage? And it's amazing because, as I said in the last video, you think that the context would either make it better or at least remain sort of neutral because we got a gist of what was going to happen. But it's worse than that. The added context is worse. The added context is worse.
Because the goal is not to make a woman-centric game. It's to destroy the game that came before it. All of the likes and everything that people, and it's the same thing with all of them, the comic books, the movies, all of them are actively destroying everything that came before it. It's not about building something for women because they're not building anything. Nobody likes the shit. Nobody's buying it. The comic books don't sell. The movies aren't selling. So if you're not trying to get sales, if you're not actually trying to draw people in to watch what you're trying to make, and the only other thing that's happening is that you're destroying all of these male icons and archetypes that came before, then what is the goal? Because you keep pushing the same narrative, they're not changing anything. So that you have to assume that the goal is to destroy everything male that men created previous to now, previous to this SJW movement, that God diversity. Oh, we must bow to the God diversity, not the God of diversity, the God named diversity.
It's worse, man. The added context is worse. It makes the game. I couldn't have ever even envisioned that it was going to be worse. It's worse. And we don't have to make excuses for them. At some point, people need to acknowledge that when it comes to what's coming out now, a lot of entertainment, there's a lot of garbage being put out. Now, they don't ever want to face that garbage because we have this sort of cultural war going on as well. So God forbid someone actually dislike it. And believe it or not, there are people on different sides of the political spectrum that are like, this is garbage. This isn't an exclusive opposite to the left end. Like, this is what it is. It was trash. It didn't make sense.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network, offered at a price built for everyone, and on a phone everyone loves. iPhone 11
and they won't let me
skip
skip
select iPhones.
What
because
up,
everyone deserves the best. This is unlimited built right.
Later for you, Verizon.
I'm speaking specifically to the storyline, and I have to continue to reiterate that. And a lot of people are just going to continue to make excuses for it, and they're going to say,
what I was going to say was being that he made a political you see, he made me forget. Verizon political all of these people who are saying that this is political statements and political, it's got nothing to do with politics, man. It's got to do with these weak people all jumping on together and trying to take over. You know, you want to call that political, I guess it is, but it's not politics as far as this is what I was gonna say. Being that they're talking about it being political, answer one question: what's gonna happen the next time we vote in a Republican? And I say that two ways, for two reasons. You look at Ethan Van Sciver, right? Republican. Look at Young Ripper, Libertarian. And you look at me, I was raised to be Democrat. And all three of us are saying the same thing. This is what I'm talking about, that we're closer than people believe we are. There's very few things that separate the ideologies between the three. You know what really separates all of us lower standing people, middle class and lower? Money from the rich. And it's not no small thing. It's a fucking great Grand Canyon gap. There's no jumping over it, looking over the fence, none of that shit. And that's the difference. So what do you think is going to happen when if another Republican gets voted in? The way all of these idiots are acting just because Trump is in there now. Because that's when it all started, when he got into office. So now that he's in office and all of these idiots are acting out, and what happens when the Republicans get voted in? Is there going to be some major uproar and revolution and all of this crap? Something to think about.
Say that you don't like it because something's wrong with you as far as your morality.
You see? And that's the bad part of it. Because just because we have a differing opinion, that means because we're not for the SJW movement, we're instantly wrong. We're instantly bad. We're instantly misogynist. We're instantly toxic. All of these key words that they use to just negate your whole argument right out the gate, right on its surface, even though they have no argument. It's just women, 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 women. That's it.
Person. Invisible enemy. that they will continue to create, because God forbid that these clowns put out a bad product or crappy product in one particular regard, and that is the storyline. God forbid that they actually have to own up to that, they have to own up to that, but they don't want to do that. Why? Leave that up for your personal interpretation. Why they wanted, why they don't, why the audience continues that we're at this point. So the audience continues to get blamed in the event that there is a lot of people that may dislike, disagree, aren't really fond of what's being put out. God forbid that is the case, which it can be. You're not perfect, but you get a lot of folks that hate it out of spite, because that's just how it is. It's a culture thing. There was guys that were going to support this no matter what, and that was just what it was going to be. They were going to support it no matter what, and definitely when they saw who was disliking it, they were for sure going to support it top to bottom. It didn't matter what they put out. They were going to justify it, say you didn't understand, it wasn't for you, yada yada.
Yeah, so essentially it's the same thing. We're being forced. It's being forced on us, and if we don't like it, you've seen it time and time again. Birds of Prey, all of these different games that's been coming out, they don't buy it. Oh, misogyny. All of you people hate us. You hate what women. You hate this. Why does it instantly equate to the hate and not the fact that you just put some bullshit out? The fact that you just put something out, you're not meeting supply and demand. You're supplying garbage. You're not supplying demand. And the business model is when there's a demand for something, you're supposed to supply the product. And they're not doing that. They're just supplying what they want to supply. So, hey, I say later for them, man. I say let's stop. Let's let them crash and burn, because that's what that's going to happen. Keep your money in your pockets. Keep your money in your pockets, bro. Keep your money in your pockets so that you don't have to, and let them know that you're not going to put up with it. You're not going to put up with these moist ass individuals using corporate greed and corporate authority, and all of these corporations willing to put their finances under the gun in order to achieve it. Good. So when they start failing, let's make sure that our government does not give them our money. That's all I'm saying. And buy DVDs, buy Blu-rays. Make sure that you have them in your collection. Your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows, make sure you put them into your collection so that you can have them there. So that when if Netflix decides to take your favorite show down and you want to watch it, or if Spectrum or any other provider decides that, well, you only have a few days left to watch this and your DVR is going to boot it off of there, well, then so you're going to have to marathon this shit if you want to see it. No, you don't. Buy the DVD, buy the Blu-ray, because I got Spartacus, I got Game of Thrones, I got Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Come on. I got Thundercats. I got all of my favorite programs. I got The Shield, all of them. Starsky and Hutch. If you want to go back into time, I got all of that stuff. So buy your own stuff. That's your power. No one can take it off TV if you have it, because it's always on TV in your library. All you have to do is plug it in to your system, your game system, or your Blu-ray player. That's all you have to do, people. And it costs a lot less money than continuously trying to catch up to TV shows and all of that stuff with Hulu and Netflix and cable, because cable is going downhill fast. TV programming is garbage. All they're showing is a bunch of old crap, and they're recycling it over and over and over every few months. I think the Chronicle of Riddick's been on for the last year or two. They just cycle it from the paid paid movie channels to the unpaid commercial channels, and then they just flop it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there's a bunch of movies that they're doing that with. Don't fall for it. All of the good movies are going to the streaming services. Everything's going to start getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and you're not going to be able to see it. Pretty soon, cable ain't going to be worth watching, and the only thing you're going to be able to see is the streaming, and that's where you're going to pay, and that's when all the prices are going to start ticking up. Tick-tock, up, 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 and you're going to not have the money. That money's going to be like too tight. Watch it. Disney's already showed what they do with their money, with their amusement parks, and they're all of the prices of a spork is like $17 or $11-12 for a spork, a plastic fork, a spoon fork. Really? Before it's supposed to be free. I'm sure there was a point in time when it was free for a spork. But now you got to pay through the nose. $10 is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You want to depend on Disney to keep their prices fair once they get you on lockdown and you don't have any places. And it's the same thing with these video games. Same thing, same old shit you've been playing year after year. They're not giving you anything better. And there's a reason, because they know they got you like crackheads. We don't need to come looking for you.
And they can edit the movies too. They can edit them.
That's right.
After the fact, and
that's right. They
cut out the musical.
Parts. They're cutting things out. And what's this crap with them putting all this advertisements or disclaimers on movie? Since when people needed disclaimers to watch a movie? Oh, this One of the Wind was made in a different era. No shit, Sherlock. That goes without saying. Why do you need somebody, Whoopi Goldberg or whoever, to come on and tell you that it was made in a different era? You just watch the movie and you could tell. That's how stupid people are today, that you could watch that movie and not know that it was made in another era under different circumstances where people believe differently. Really? We have to tell our stupid youth that it was made in a different time. This is the era of SJWs, and this is what SJWs want from you, to be dumbasses who don't know the difference between yesteryear and today, and that racism is out there in every fucking corner trying to get you. I'm not saying that there are not racist things out there, of course, but it's not everywhere like they're trying to make it out to be. It's not to the degree that they're trying to make it out to be. It's up to you to stand up, grab your sack, and try to fucking make yourself into something better. Stop looking for Mother Disney to read you a bedtime story. Let's get together and create our own heroes. Let's get our own multimillionaires and billionaires, Oprah, to put some of their money forward, or at least their mouth forward, to support some of these little guys and bring them up, and so that they can become creators, putting out their own diverse view. That means that creator's view. How he sees white superheroes, how he sees black superheroes, how he sees or she sees gay superheroes, lesbian superheroes, transsexual superheroes, whether they decide to put them in their books or not. It's up to them. Let them put out there. And the fact that Asian, a black, a Puerto Rican, whatever nationality, creed, sex, sexual orientation, whatever that is, if you put it out and you're putting it out through your frame of view or your point of view, but you're just trying to tell a quality story that just happens to have gay people in it, a black person in it, Asian people in it, then that's diversity, because that's all Stan Lee did. That's all he did. He just put out good quality stories, through his eyes. That means Black Panther created by a white man through his eyes, the way he saw it, and we were able to embrace it, right? So why can't a black man, an Asian, a gay, that's diversity, not the character. Begging Disney to make another character is just Disney's point of view. How is that helping me if they're making some soft ass, moist ass black dude who's crying with Disney eyes, begging for help from everybody and anybody, got women slapping him around? How is that the diversity that you want? Well, you keep on sitting back, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. So, all right, people, that's it for this week's Power Time. Talking about moistness and corporate too big to fail. Yeah, they're just the right size for failure. Let them fail. And this whole, I'm not playing around with I'm not playing games no more. And I mean, I'm not playing games. I'm not buying no more of these consoles, man. I'm spending too much money on consoles just to get 20 games. If I spend $400 or $500 on a console, if I spend $400 or $500 on a console, that's because I want to get like 100, 200 games. I don't want to stop at 20. And y'all just gonna be bringing out another console for me to spend $600-700 for, and then I only get 5 games later for y'all. I'm not playing around with y'all no more. When y'all decide to make that good game, matter of fact, if y'all want to make a good game, get at your boy. Get at your boy, Monstrositus X, the dark batted one. Get at your boy, and I'm telling you, you will not be sorry, but don't try to rob me, man, because I know how y'all do. Y'all want to try and make out like y'all want to give somebody something and then y'all steal his idea. Well, I'm not trying to. I want everything recorded. You're going to have to prove that you didn't get the idea from me if you steal my idea. And I want contracts written up stating that I got money coming to me and money in the bank waiting once the game is finished. Otherwise, don't bother. Don't bother. Because I'm not gonna giving it away for free. If y'all want to make them billions, then you're gonna have to pay me. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's fair. If y'all making billions, there's no reason why I shouldn't make a couple of $100 million. I just don't want to work no more for nobody. That's all. That's all. And just like y'all got your billions. Y'all sit back and let somebody else do all of the work, right? That's what capitalism is all about. Got to make sure that there's a labor force. Otherwise, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing happening, Captain. So until next time, we're out of here. Anything you got to say, House Rebel?
Get your head in the game.
That's right. I like that one. You see how he ties it in to what we're talking about? God damn, Hoff, I'm glad you're here with me. All right, people, we out of here. Deuces.